Medical units stand by. 30 seconds to contact. 20 seconds. 15. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
We got him. Let's go.
And welcome, art aficionados and comic book connoisseurs, to another episode of Proof of Comics, where we talk about comic books, freedom of expression, and all sorts of crazy stuff. First, I want to start the show by saying welcome to my co-host here.
A man that I call Bob.
Kaplow.
How's it going?
Tired and it's cold as hell. It's supposed to snow tonight. Woo.
Yeah, man, it's been snowing pretty much all week here. Streets are hard to get through. But,
I mean,
it's kind of normal. Middle of February, it's to be expected. Not gonna complain on that front, to be honest. We're also joined by our other co-host.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing tonight?
Hey, man, doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing all right. Finished up work a little bit ago, and I'm ready to hang out and have some fun.
Yeah, man, sounds good. Got some stuff to look at tonight. A couple of surprises. Well, maybe not for you because you already got the package. But I got my own package in the mail from one of the campaign I supported last year. Well, late last year, so not so long ago. And our other co-host here, James, the man with no intro. I believe you also have something to show today.
That I do. I got two somethings. One of them just arrived in the mail. It is a piece of literature I am very excited to show off. I was taking a look at it earlier. It is really fantastic and is jam-packed with old school photography and hand drawn illustrations. So it's going to be great. And
Awesome.
the other one is a Blast from the Past magazine that's closer to us than the book I was previously mentioning, with magnificent art from some Filipino artists who are a bit unsung in the modern day. But I was looking them up, and it seems they did a lot of work for DC, and they did a lot of work for Warren Magazine, and I just happen to have some of those Warren magazines on hand.
Awesome, man. Talk about niche, unsung artists from the Philippines, Filipinos, or
Yes, from the Philippines.
wow.
Some Filipino men.
Let's see, OG artists here.
Yeah. A few of them still kicking around.
Oh, I wonder. Have you looked into what they're doing today, by any chance?
Not really. I found one that had Alex Nino, I believe his name is. He has a YouTube channel, but it doesn't look like he uploaded in quite a while. But he has some stuff that he drew on the. He's just drawing stuff on his YouTube channel. But he's still up and at it. I'm not sure whom he's drawing for, if he's just drawing for himself, illustrating for himself. But we'll be showing off some of his work today, and it's quite fantastic.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. I've just been inking a little bit, some practicing on old John Byrne pages that he did, like as an alternate ending to the Phoenix Saga, which is kind of pretty cool.
Yeah.
That an artist would kind of draw up on his free time a whole issue he's not paid for, basically, to voice his kind of differing artistic take on the ending there. Haven't read it yet. I've just started inking the page 1 here, so it should be interesting.
So
Reading this-
Avowed came out finally.
Who?
Avowed.
Avowed, yeah, the video game.
Evidently not that good. Kind of broken and shit.
Yeah.
Well, damn.
Oh boy. Yep, doesn't surprise me.
I'm glad I didn't do their paperwork.
Yeah. I did a big purchase yesterday in terms of video games with the Arkham trilogy. I was following at least the latest one on my wish list, and then I get a notification that it's on sale, and then I scroll down and I see I could buy the whole freaking lot for $12 Canadian, which is almost nothing. That's like $4 a game.
Nice.
So I'm like, even if it is buggy or badly written, I mean, for $4, it's kind of worth it.
Just like a sandwich.
Yeah, I hear the game mechanics are pretty good on what's the name of the last one? I forget. Arkham, you got Origin City, Asylum City, and
Knights.
Knights. Yeah, that Knights the one that interested me the most because it seems to work out of the box on the Steam Deck. So we'll
Yeah, it's
see
also
about
got the worst story of them all.
that. Yeah, that's what I hear. It's kind of like jammed in, but it's got the best fighting mechanics apparently. They brought in the Batmobile, though. That's also
Nah, the Batmobile is dog shit.
well, that's the thing. It's a source of contention.
People are like, man, we really want the Batmobile. And they're like, all right, we're going to give you the Bat Tank. Oh, and guess what? Everything will be connected to this fucking vehicle.
Yeah.
You like Riddler challenges? Man, you got to use the fucking Batmobile for most of them.
Hey, we've got Patrick in the chat here. Call of Duty Modern Warfare remake from 2023 is bullshit.
Ooh.
What's happening, Patrick?
It's Call of
How's it
Duty
going,
there,
man?
Patty.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I didn't play Call of Duty that didn't feel like a parody of itself.
Should we not bury the lead and get right to the unboxing here since Patrick arrived?
Yeah. And then we can play some Sabrina.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm not going to show the addresses, of course. Don't want to dox Patrick just yet. I mean, if the package is disappointing, maybe I'll change my mind. But let's keep this code here.
Always remember when cutting something to pull towards you.
I don't want to cut myself, and there's a lot of
Make sure you're standing on one leg while you're doing it.
It's a real delicate balance.
Oh, Lord Otter's in the house.
Heyo.
How's it going, Otter?
Wait, who? Me? What?
Yes, that is
Oh.
you.
Oh, hi guys.
How's
Hi.
the kingdom?
How you been?
It's been a little bit of a war going on between us and orangutans. Royce pointed it out to me where one of my military generals got into a little scuffle the other day. But it worked out. He got pardoned. The otter, I mean. The orangutan, not so much.
Orangutans, man, you can't trust them.
Yeah,
That's
they're suspicious. Royce was trying to cancel me over it, but I said no to that. I noped his cancel.
What's up, Tenkage?
Hey, 10 Cage, how you doing, man? This is worse than
Also-
Christmas morning.
Is
Also,
it?
I'll
Hey,
go
you're
ahead
really
and
shit at
say
this
hail to
unboxing,
everybody in the
Frederick.
chat.
You're really bad at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
don't
gotta
get
your
packages
unboxing
very
skills
often.
better. Yeah.
This is,
Oh,
so
boy.
hi, guys. What's
say
in the
hi.
box? Nobody knows, Tenkage. I
What's
had
up,
my
Doc?
drug sniffing cats on it earlier today, and there seems to be no traces of drugs, so I'm already disappointed. So hopefully there's no explosives or dangerous items there just yet.
Again with that word, yet.
Yes. Well, we got. Don't want to rule out any options, for the future. Ooh, we got a nice Gemini over here. Go. Ooh, man, I see some extras already.
Ooh.
It's kind of cool. I got a CD.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
Does it play music?
Ah, wow. Oh, is this your music, Patrick?
Wow. Sent you his mixtape.
Heart of the moment. Album's nice. Asia. Geffen. I think my only CD player's in the car. At least I have an old car.
Yeah,
you guys have
computers
CD
don't even come with those anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
CD
my Mac
drive.
doesn't have one. I could. Oh wow, this is freaking beautiful, man.
Nice.
Got a
Look
nice
at
little
that.
kit. Yeah,
I see flamethrower, man.
yeah. This is colored
Sexy.
by. I don't have the
Sexy.
info in the back. We need like a little back, like little artist note on the back there, Patrick. That would be.
Yeah, you
nice.
failure. Look what you've done.
It's not a failure yet.
No, it's not a failure. He is. There's
Oh,
a
okay.
difference.
All right, you're a bit harsh, but we'll see. Ooh, look at this.
Phenomenal tale.
Phenomenal
Ooh.
tales.
It's got a The Thing vibe going there. I like that cover.
Wow. And Phenomenon. Wait a minute. I thought I ordered Phenomenova.
Uh-oh.
You're not Von Coleman? They told me this blonde kid in CG was great to follow him. It's not you? Oh,
Surprise.
man. What a,
Phenomena.
that's uncomfortable. What a
No, you're
misunderstanding there,
uncomfortable.
Patrick.
Looks very detailed work, and I like the coloring.
Oh man, this is beautiful. This is
Good coloring.
This is Jimmy Ray's, and this might be Jimmy Ray's last cover for a while. So apparently he's taken a little sabbatical from doing comics and
Whoa.
stuff. So, yeah, Patrick says Paul Revoche. No, it's Asia. Thought you might enjoy them. Oh, I'll check them out, man. Freaking awesome. Yeah, it's cool. I haven't been gifted music in a long time, so that I'm gonna have to give that a good listen to. Yeah, Paul Revoche. That's a great piece, man. I don't have a.
And if he doesn't say anything after today, you know why, Patrick. You know why.
All right, let's give these a little. Let's open these up and look through them very quickly without giving any spoilers. Signed on the cover there and everything. Beautiful.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful. I think it lowers the value a little bit, but it's okay. I'm not doing it for the money.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're an otter prostitute, so you know it makes sense.
You mean an otter toot?
Oh man, I love the texture on this. This is not a standard. It doesn't feel like a standard comic.
Really? Does it got like that fine paper feel?
It's a little bit cardboardy. Yeah,
Yes.
it feels silky.
Okay.
And it's
Ooh,
got a
I know
little-
the kind. I know
yeah,
the kind. Yes.
It's a little
I
bit
know that.
of
Yes.
thickness. So I really
All right, you
like
know
it.
this is a Christian Minecraft, server, Frederick. So please don't be
Is it?
stroking a comic on camera. You know.
I'm sorry, Melanie Mac. I'll be. I'll keep this Christian.
No
Okay.
gooning allowed.
Yeah, no gooning here.
Aw.
This is not a gooning stream. Go away, you gooners. Oh shit, our only viewer went away.
Oh,
Damn. Oh, come
Bye,
back. We'll
Melanie
goon a
Mac.
little bit. We'll goon just a
No.
little bit. Damn, man, you're harsh, Patrick. I don't think you have access to my permanent record, though. That's good. Feel safe. Oh, this is cool. Very cool. Okay, I like to not show the last pages of comics that I flip through. I don't know why. Don't ask me. It's just endings and everything. I kind of respect surprises at the end and stuff.
You know what? Fuck him. Go ahead and spoil it.
No, I don't know. It's me. It's not for him. It's I'm gonna read these and give a very harsh review, Patrick. I know you like being critiqued. I'm gonna try to be very critical.
Don't worry, Patrick. I can crush your dreams.
Yeah, right, Billy Bob. You want to help me? Do
I'll just toss rocks at you.
a thorough critique. Otter's already made up his mind. He's hard to satisfy. These otters, man, they look cute, but these little eyes are very, very critical.
All right,
trying to
Patrick. You're
satisfy me.
asking for it then.
Oh yeah, this one's much more.
All right, we got to be as mean as possible.
This
It's
one's
just the
much
nature of
more-
the game.
Much more to my liking. You can see there's different artists on this one. It's beautiful. The colors
Yeah,
too.
you just said
This
your
is,
other artist is shit, Patrick. That's what he just told you.
All right,
This-
Billy just told me this before the stream, but it's missing a cum sickle. All right.
That's right. It needs a cumsicle.
Yeah, but doesn't Shad have the trademark on the cumsicle?
He
Seriously?
does, but I mean, come
No,
on,
he
it
doesn't,
can be
actually.
licensed out with enough money.
No. He hasn't yet. We can trademark him, fuck him on his own project, right?
Yeah, obviously.
We'll pull a Nintendo on him. What Nintendo did to what was it, Power World?
Power World.
Yeah. Concept.
You know
Yeah,
for a fact that Nintendo is like canceling Power World. Then it's like 3 years later, they're like, "Oh, hey, look at our game! It's the new Pokemon. You can now have like an army of Pokemon that does menial tasks for you." It's like, I wonder where that came from.
So this will be the cover for the reprint.
He says, "Show the inside of the back cover."
Inside of the back cover of Phenomenal Tales #1.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah, in the back. Yeah, diamond.
Matter of fact, I need to look. I think my core draft should be.
Yeah. It's good that you mentioned that they're Soviet scientists, Patrick, because Billy Bob might think they're Asian looking.
Well, you know what? You drew her Asian, Frederick. I mean, we've already proven this.
I don't know what you're talking about there, Billy Bob.
She's definitely
She's
something
not
like-
Asian. She's a Russian spy. She's trying to
Oh.
look Asian.
This is cool. This is cool. I think
But
Patrick's
she ain't looking Asian. She's definitely Asian.
I think
It's a good
Patrick's a
disguise,
communist.
you know.
Guys, like I'm trying to. More I think about it, I think Patrick might be a communist. What do you guys think?
Oh, he's
I
definitely.
try not to. It
Love
gets in
Putin.
trouble.
Yeah,
He says Putin is his man. Yeah.
yeah. No
He's like,
spoilers.
"What? I'm not a communist." Just tucks in the copy of the Communist Manifesto under his seat.
You should give me a harsh review. Everyone throws me softballs. All right. You hear that, Billy Bob? Fred Nutshell. Okay, that's done.
Mhm.
No spoilers or anything there. Okay.
I'll make
okay,
him
that's
cry.
cool.
You're
That's
playing
cool.
with fire whenever you tell that to fucking Billy.
Is this the same print? I think so, right? This feels like the same hard cardboard, nice feel. Yeah, this is good, man. I like the paper stock. And it's not glossy paper. I hate when it's glossy because it's shiny all over. Now these are nice and matte. Cool.
Agreed.
Good job.
Agreed.
Good job, Patrick. Congratulations, man, on getting it done and out the door for the second time. And not only did he freaking meet his goal on his campaign, he funded 110%. That's like a true hockey player, man. That must be his French Canadian blood there. Speaking, I'm sure.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, man, no problem. It's all
Listen,
in a day's
Patrick,
work.
I'm gonna give you a tip. Make more gooning skins, bigger sales.
Patrick, yeah, I mean, Frederick loves backing dudes.
And listen, you're supposed to be my lawyer here. That's lawyer.
Allegedly.
That's lawyer-client privileges. Okay. All right. Slightly thinner. Okay, I really like the phenomenon, and the slightly thinner is good as well. Like no complaints on there. It feels like a premium book. Like it's a good quality print for sure. So that holds up.
Yeah.
Next time though, I want to see trading cards next time, Patrick. We've got to talk. Got to talk trading cards.
Wouldn't that be fun?
See, I got my own Rattel trading cards here. This is just a prototype. Came out a bit too dark, unfortunately, but
Just the background, I think, needs to be lightened up a bit. It'd be
well,
good.
it's like an idiot. I colored everything in RGB, you know, because
Yeah.
yeah, I was retarded.
CMYK or
Yeah.
CYKM, one of those.
Yeah.
No
that's
one's
it.
gonna deny that fact, Frederick. That you're retarded. You
No,
know?
it's just it's dark because I'm artistic and mysterious.
It's
That's
a
what it is.
metaphor.
Exactly.
Is it a metaphor for the dark times that Canada's facing right now?
Oh man, it's looking bleak.
Or is it a metaphor for Justin Trudeau, aka
Do
Black-
people feel bleak over there in Canada? It's like they were walking around going, "Oh,
Just when they go to the grocery stores, I would say. But that's the only time I see people, so I might be
bleak."
biased as well, you know. So before we switch topics here, I wanted to mention this is going to be the cover for the reprint of is it Phenomenon #1 or Phenomenal Tales #1?
Okay.
So when he reprints it next campaign, this will be the cover. So
All right.
you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to give Patrick a Sabrina for all the hard work he's done.
Yeah.
Sunshine down, so come to town, set your body. Hold me tight, my love tonight. Tell me you everybody, summer.
You remember me.
Yeah, man, collector's edition.
As Dracula would say, nice jugulars.
Ooh, right?
Ooh, yeah, jugular.
Oh, I need to bring Sabrina into the comic book somehow.
I'm sure there'll be a special time travel issue where he finds his way to Germany.
There has to
You,
be.
you kind of already did that, Frederick.
Oh, you. See, I'm making comments now without knowing it.
Oh, I got it. Your character's backstory. He was one of the kids in the crowd in the Germany show.
See, there you go. You're gonna be ghostwriting that one, James.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I'm a real good writer. That's what I tell myself every day.
Do you like write it and repeat in a book? I am a good writer, like line
Yes.
after line.
Yes,
That-
but it's got a lot of typos, but yes.
How do you have typos? You're writing the same line as the one above.
Dyslexia. And lizard
Life
heads.
finds a way.
Yeah, what he said.
There. In honor of the conversation, I had to switch my screen over to Frederick's other work.
The same way I keep misspelling the word guard, Frederick.
Guard.
It just happens every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
G-U-A-R-D.
It's like last week on Comicsgate Commandos, I said corpse instead of core. And,
Yeah.
I should know better because, even in
Well,
French, it's the same. But
It's okay.
speaking of Comicsgate Commandos, there won't be an episode tomorrow, unfortunately, because Patrick is got sick and he's a pussy,
All right.
and he won't be doing a show. So unfortunately, I won't be going on. But,
Shame.
next week.
Such a shame. How dare you,
You
Frederick?
must know your enemy. Well, that's wise there. That's very wise, Patrick. There we go.
Indeed. Indeed.
And we got Otter's work right here. I'm
Yes.
just about to start inking. Let's get down to it now.
It's looking really nice.
All right. So just talk amongst yourselves.
Of course. As you do the Z inking.
The
In fact,
inking.
this might be a good time to show off the first of the two pieces of literature that I have recently collected. Well, this one's actually an older piece of literature. But as many of you know, I am hunting down the 1994 series of illustrated provocative literature. Well, it's a magazine. And this is a particular cover that I recently got. Do you want to blow this up, Frederick?
Yeah. Hold on. I don't even know how to do this.
Of course you don't. Billy Bob's piloting the ship.
Yeah, I think he stepped away for a minute. How
And
do I
there he goes.
switch between... shut up.
He's going to get that.
Solo layout. I can give you the solo layout.
That
one's
works
easy.
too. That works too. So this one was one of the more expensive ones because this particular cover was done by H.R. Geiger. As you can see, you probably see his work nicely displayed here. This is, I think, like the 15th issue I have, and I only need about 3 more before it's complete. And this was the most expensive one, and unfortunately the cover is also the most damaged. There's a lot of small indents everywhere, and when I fold it open, there's plenty of damage here on where the staples are, which is unfortunate because a lot of the other issues I have are quite complete. But still, we were speaking earlier of Filipino artists, and though this has a magnificent Geiger cover, the art inside by the artists themselves is quite magnificent. First off, to any great old school magazine, you got to enjoy the advertisements, which right here, full color posters, full color sci-fi posters beyond space, beyond time, beyond man's imagination. And a lot of them actually look very, very badass. I would love to collect this one right here because this looks like a wicked type of creature. But over here is an interesting layout where you have 6 separate short stories that are illustrated and written.
And it's the same with every issue, right? They always have 6 featured
6
comics.
featured comics. Some of them, let's see if we have any continuing comics here. Gita or Greta is a continuing comic, and it's about a warrior princess who she's naked through most of the entire thing. This is a provocative illustrated magazine, and we were talking about
It's in the name, right? You're
It's
not
in the
just making
name.
this up. Yeah.
I'm not making it up, but we were talking about multiple tatas, and here you get 4 of them in one story.
Nice.
You have my attention.
Yes, and let us begin the journey through the wonderful pieces of literature of days long gone. The
Yeah, this
Lost
is my
Love.
honest opinion, by the way.
Yeah.
Like fantasy and sci-fi, but especially fantasy, like not always, but a lot of the time, it does benefit just from a little bit of cheesecake, just a little bit, not
Oh,
much,
yeah.
just a little bit.
Oh yeah, but this one goes balls to the wall. In fact, I think that's one of the reasons this particular series is more affordable to collect than other ones, is because it really goes out there. Their whole thing was they wanted to push the limits beyond, say, like heavy metal. So if heavy metal went like edgy, they'd go twice as edgy.
Heavy metal could be downright pornographic at times. It just depended.
No, that's because it's European, Otter.
Oh, okay.
It's from
like,
Metal Hurlant.
we
That's why.
replaced the word pornography with Europe, and there we go.
There you go. This first story is authored by Will Richardson and illustrated by Alex Nino. And apparently, back in the day, there was a bit of a Filipino takeover of the comic book arts, and these gentlemen were a part of it, and a lot of Filipinos actually worked on this one. And showcasing early on, we get the lovely quadruple-titted creature right here, which seems to be grown from a vial, and then you get the monster of tits.
Is that like sea monkeys, where you just put you open a sachet of powder, put it into the water, and your mountain of tits just grows from there?
It definitely looks like it, but I'm sure it's much more advanced sea monkeys.
Intricate.
Buy your own mountain of tits today. Grow it in the backyard.
Yeah, and it looks like it goes a bit tit crazy right
Yeah,
here.
we got to keep this on the up and up here. We don't want to be gooning all the way. Melanie Mac, hello, raise your fist.
Now let's talk about butts.
I mean, like I said, this is a provocative magazine, but
I already feel provoked.
the art itself gets crazy, and Alex Nino, from what I've seen, has a tendency to do a lot of body horror, like we're seeing right here.
Melanie,
Melanie Mag, JDA, eat your heart out.
Melanie Mac's head explodes when she reads one chapter of Berserk.
Probably.
Oh man.
Oh, I know exactly what she would say about it.
I would pay to a Patreon to watch Melanie Mac do a Berserk review.
She would definitely be calling it like a grape fantasy and everything like that.
Yeah. It would be grape.
She gets to the troll scene.
Oh God.
I mean, just the opening one is enough for me, you know.
Mhm. This is another story that was illustrated by Delando Nino, which is the brother of the artist that we just seen the work of. And this one's very interesting because the first one, you can see the contrast. There's a lot of whites throughout.
Very
this
clean, very black and white, very balanced there, and a lot of use of gray screen tone.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Communist Manifesto, I guess you got a new clip.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Today I'm going to be reading the Communist Manifesto with my retainers in. Why'd you keep watching, huh? You a fucking commie? You a dirty, filthy red? Fuck you. You're not gonna take my land. You're gonna take my guns from my resources and stop leeching off of society and other people. You disgust me.
The Communist Manifesto. Everyone's favorite. Everyone's favorite bathroom literature.
She's great.
They all are. Aren't they?
No.
Yeah.
You know he should have changed that too, right?
That was the historically accurate.
No. That is not the historically accurate.
Jurassic Park with
Nope.
feathered.
You know why that's not
velociraptors
the
there.
actual accurate raptors?
Were you there,
Because
Belly
they
Wob?
typically call them velociraptors. So actually, they need to edit that scene to have them be like fucking the size of a chihuahua.
Oh yeah, they're
Actually-
chicken size, weren't they?
Yes, velociraptors were. The ones that they base it on are Ohio Raptors.
Or Utah Raptors, I think.
Utah
Yeah,
Raptors.
Utah Raptors. That's right. Very original name, by the way.
Well, it was found. So,
Sounds
they're
like sounds like a baseball team.
The
but
Utah Raptors.
that would actually be the actual accurate Raptors in that movie. If they're supposed to be, they're called Velociraptors. That's what they're supposed to be. They'd be little chickens that they're running from. Someone needs to do that. James,
What? I
Yeah.
can't draw.
You don't have to draw. Can't you edit that scene to make them tiny?
Edit the scene, maybe. I mean, I
Yeah,
haven't.
I thought the speak and spell stuff could do that.
Oh, you mean with AI? Maybe.
Oh,
I haven't tried it. This is
If you did it
Vegeta
yourself,
story.
it'd be tough. With AI, it probably wouldn't be too bad.
Middle
Wow.
Eastern Sesame Street.
yeah.
Let's
Well,
see.
while we're on clips, this is. Let me present it here, Billy Bob. This is. Remember, we had the USAID
Save Vegeta
thing,
for later.
and they were financing Sesame Street in the Middle East. I got a hold of one of the episodes from that project.
السلام عليكم يا جماعة أهلا وسهلا فيكم خلينا نقللكم على الحروف الأبجدية يلا خلينا نبدأ
I'm assuming this is when SNL had balls to make that joke.
I think they started swinging the other way, SNL, since the inauguration, I believe.
They can only go so far before they're like, "Oh yeah, we're actually losing everybody here."
We actually want viewers now, you know.
Well, the USAID money started drying up, so they couldn't get any of that.
Yeah, I wonder how much it's going to change. We'll see. We'll see.
Hopefully, most for the better. That's what I'm hoping. But then again, that's a very obvious hope.
So, Otter, did you see Avowed?
Yeah, I was actually watching Az stream it a little bit before I got on here with you guys. The writing looks bad. Gameplay looks okay, I guess. Looks fine. Looks just kind of like very insufferably mediocre.
Oh, Hill versus Vapeace is streaming it right now. It looks terrible. Gonna be honest.
So
Not
what
just
was
mediocre, actual terrible. It looks like what I would thought it was gonna be when
Can you fill me in on this Avowed thing? I haven't heard about it at all. Like, I've just heard it mentioned, but I don't know what the story is. Which studio is this, and what's
this
the,
is made by
this is Obsidian.
Modern Obsidian.
Okay, Obsidian.
Yeah,
Obsidian.
So
it's
Obsidian was
their-
the ones that were the modern version of the studio that was doing the Fallout New Vegas, right?
No,
yeah. Well, technically,
not these guys. No.
Yeah, it's not the same guys, but it's the same company.
It's the same studio.
down
Same
the
studio.
line, down the river. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
yeah. So this is like the best way I kind of thought of it is like at first I thought they were gonna do their own version of like Underworld, like what was it, like Ultima Underworld, but no, they're basically making their own version of Elder Scrolls, but it's in the Pillars of Eternity universe.
But
And
it's
here's
not
the
Elder
thing:
Scrolls. It's literally a reskin of
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds.
Here's
which
the
is-
thing: I like Pillars of Eternity, one more than two, but I still like the series. Avowed looks like the worst of Pillars of Eternity. Let's put it that way.
You also don't even have the original writer from what's his name?
Chris
Not even
Avallone.
at- Yeah, he's not even at Obsidian.
He was only there for the first game. That's why I like the first game the most. You feel his absence in the second game.
Yeah, I also saw. God, I'm not even gonna give this. Like, I have Game Pass. I'm not giving this game a chance. I written this off when what's his name, the woke fucking developers and shit started going on like a crusade, and I was like, well, I'm not even gonna give it a shot. And I'm
What kind of
kinda glad I
crusade
did.
did they go on, Billy?
The what's his name? Otter, do you
I
remember?
forget.
He's a kind of balding white dude, glasses, looks like a hippie. He looks like
He's
every
like
fucking
every
hippie.
hipster you ever saw.
Gabe Newell.
No, I wouldn't call Gabe Newell a hipster.
And he basically went
Well,
on
maybe a
a
little
tirade
bit of a hipster, but
with,
not
like,
that much.
of course, on like the Discord and all that other shit. Like, oh, we're doing
Okay.
this to piss off the chuds and all this other shit. It's like
Mm.
it's the same old shit, and it's like, you know, I don't care anymore. Give
Yeah, I
up.
mean, I don't think anybody does. It's an old story.
Yeah.
Everybody could. Yeah.
You know, we've been doing this for what is it, 8 years now?
Too long.
Pretty much.
Too fucking long. That's how long.
Or over 8 years at this point.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's too long, man.
I'm like, you know what? I don't care.
Now nobody does. It's not a marketing tool anymore, unless you want to get rid of people.
And originally, so you had the original first reveal. People were really hyped when it was originally. You had that like teaser.
Well, the idea of it is really cool. Like, I thought they were going to go with like Ultima Underworld or something, but in like the Pillars of Eternity world, I'm like, that sounds cool to me. But that's not what they did.
Well, remember when they did the first, did the actual trailer when they were actually having it, and everyone went, "Oh, this looks terrible."
Yep.
Because before it was like all dark colors with like bright, you know, spell colors and shit, and this looked like it had this dark tone. And then the first actual trailer came out, and it's this fucking cartoony art style and everything.
Yeah,
Bright
and
colors.
that's the weirdest thing because it's like the best way I can describe Pillars of Eternity, like originally, is it's kind of like it's like basic D&D, but with basically the twist that it's all about like reincarnation and everything and the manipulation of souls and all that. And it can work. Like, I think the first game does it very well for the most part. It just gets worse and worse and worse, though.
Sounds a bit heavy to be bringing reincarnation into us.
Well, the cool bit with the first game was that your character was a watcher, meaning it's like everybody in that world gets reincarnated until their souls eventually kind of like basically grind into nothing. Like that's the idea. And you have like a whole pantheon of gods balancing different questions with that whole concept.
I mean, reincarnation, I guess it makes a lot of sense in a video game as well, since you're just dying all the time.
Sort of. So the thing with the Watcher was that you were a character that could see into all of their past lives. So it was like you were cursed to see not only in your own past lives, but everybody else's as well. And it was slowly driving you insane. That was kind of what was kicking off the whole campaign.
So good concept, bad execution.
The first game had mostly good execution.
Okay.
Later games had worse execution.
Otter, this is
Yeah.
actually a book I wanted to show you particularly. Because I remember you saying you wanted to put more images in your literature, you know?
Yes.
And this one I had to hunt down because I have another version of this piece of literature, which is The Wanderings of an Elephant Hunter. And this one is jam-packed with hand drawings from the writer and hunter himself, W.M.D. Bell, who went about Africa hunting elephants. And it also has plenty of photos that he took himself as well. And
Oh, nice.
the layout is actually quite amazing. Like, it starts off right in the front, this entire description of what's happening here, which is a local tool in Africa. When they look to kill a menacing elephant, they put a line in the middle of a elephant's path, because they cross the same paths over and over again, and then they have a 400-pound spear that's right above them, and when they hit the line, the spear falls right down onto the elephant right here.
Oh.
And it explains all that right here, that I love this layout and hand drawing that we have that fills up this section with just minimal text at the bottom. But
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
when we go to the next page, then we have further descriptions and a a hand-drawn image of the spear itself that they use, or what they call a gigantic javelin. And this one, these images are actually referenced in the text, and the version I had did not have any of the images, so I felt cheated. And I very much was, because as I flip through this book, it's like every 4 or 5 pages, there's another hand drawing or photo, and all of them, because this is from an elephant hunter's perspective, at this moment, each of them is an instructional piece, at least so far in the earlier pages, on where you shoot an elephant. This one in particular, it's harder to see, but there's a small line going directly into the center of the cranium, stating that this is the spot you want to take out an elephant with. Shoot him in the brain. It's the most humane way. And then right next to it, well, what it also says here is the other places you're supposed to shoot, and it gives whole diagrams of the best ways to shoot the brain of an elephant.
Wait a minute, James. Why
pretty
are you
thorough.
instructing an otter on how to kill an elephant?
No reason.
No reason whatsoever. And this one, another magnificently hand-drawn image, is a dead elephant. When you appropriately shoot them in the brain, they don't make any noise, which means they don't spook the elephants around them. They just slouch down dead, and then the other elephants just act like nothing happened. And then you have a lovely raging elephant here, and plenty of other images. This one is where to shoot an elephant if he raises his nostril up at you, and what to expect
I've
afterwards.
always wondered that.
They,
Well, now you can
Up at
sleep
night.
easy, Wrangler.
the opening pages of this is literally a guide on how to kill an elephant. All right, that's what these opening pages are. But even
Damn.
when the story starts, the art doesn't finish, and it has minor descriptors on the bottom. And I just got reminded of Otter because he said, I want to have more art. And this one is just jam-packed full of it with every other page. Most of them elephants, but also descriptions of 18th century African life.
Oh,
You would just depict and draw. That's what I love about this book. It's not the first chapter's how do you kill an elephant. The rest of it is what happens in the midst of a journey where you're killing elephants. Who do you run into? Who do you meet? What's the local culture like?
Wow.
A ton of that is written down here. Even has images of the local bows that they use, the local warriors use here. And it goes deep with images. Here's a local warrior using his bow against a gigantic elephant. And frankly, this book captivated me the first time I read it because it was one of the pieces of I put it on so I could fall asleep to, and I just couldn't fall asleep because it was too riveting. It was too riveting. Here's poor Karamanas showing periwigs. I think on this next image we get a better image of him. Yes, the men he hired to carry the tusks as he went through the land. Right here, that's what this image is. It's a photo we took. And these images you're seeing here, you will not get these in 90% of the editions you will see of this book. And they have made many editions of this book throughout the years, and they're lacking all these photos. I had to freaking get this shipped from India to be able to have a copy with these images on it. This is a direct scan from the first edition, which I am saving up my money to buy a first edition of this book.
I was going to say, because you can see gray tones around the text on the right side as well.
Yes,
So-
this is a scan. This is
Yeah.
a scan. You're not going to get half of these images in any other one. So this is almost, in a sense, lost media.
What's the date on this original publication?
This one was in the 1800s. I think it was either in the 1800s or early 1900s.
Wow. Yeah, those are precious books, man. Even if you've got a reprint, but it's a legit legit reprint. That's
I have one of the most expensive reprints there is. Well, not a reprint, I guess you could say a reprint, and it doesn't have these images in it. These images are basically lost if you don't have the first edition. I even looking for a second edition. They didn't have the images in them. So, and what you're just seeing is just a handful. There's tons of them throughout this entire book. And I can't wait to dig into it because while reading it the first time, I was so, I guess what you call culture shocked by what Africa was like and what did they think of the white hunters. This is a foot soldier right here for probably one of the many tribes that he stopped at. So I'm going to be digging into this. I want to look for more books similar to this because I found out that this is my favorite genre. Is these historic adventure books?
Yeah, if you come across really old books on architecture, like 1800s or early 1920s, keep me in the loop, man. I'm so fascinated by those old buildings and those old architectures from back in the day.
Definitely. I'm sure I'll come across some. And like I said, I've never seen these images before, and I've read this book like 5 times. I own a copy of this book, and yeah, this took like 40 days to get to me, to like 35 and 40 days, because they had to ship it from India. It's the only place I found that sold this.
Why would they remove pictures, especially in a book that references them?
Yes, it does. It does. I don't know. Maybe it's because like the African men are portrayed as wholly black and they're overly sensitive. I don't know what it is.
That's it.
It could. Maybe they were just watered down because there's like 20 different versions of this book printed throughout the years, and they could have just slowly removed them. But I'm sure there's other books with just as much in them that have yet to be, I've yet to uncover. But the literature alone is magnificent. The drawings were drawn by the author while he was in the field.
Wow, man, you don't hear that every day.
Yeah, I mean, he was a big game hunter, and that could be another reason. This one's very beautiful.
Well, I mean, you could tell just by the topics, the subject matter, like who writes, like what happens, who do you run to while you're killing elephant game?
Exactly.
It's like it's someone who's been
You
doing
run to
it.
the otter.
Yes, he talks about a story that really just tugged at my heart and imagination about him owning a ranch, and he left the ranch while he was out hunting, and he was going to be hunting for months because he was going across all of Africa. He left the ranch with 2 ranch hands to take care of, and the mailman said that he needed to grab his mail because it was just getting backed up, and they weren't going to hold his mail for him if he didn't grab it. So he went to go get the mail, one of his ranch hands, and his ranch hand got the mail. When they were there, they said, take this to your master, or take this to the owner of the ranch. And unknowing that the owner of the ranch was far away, but the ranch hand, without second guessing or complaining, shrugged, went back to the ranch, told the other ranch hand he's got to hold down the fort by himself for a while. And he trekked across Africa for like a month through hostile territories where to become a man in particular tribes, you literally have to take the life of another man. And only then do you pass on from boyhood to manhood. So there was areas where you'd have to deal with either cannibals trying to eat you or boys trying to kill you to become men. And he trekked across all these lands, went right into a village, and stubbornly just asked for food and water whenever he needed it. And people were so baffled at how he just waltzed on up and commanded their attention. They gave him whatever he needed. And eventually, after a month's journey, he found him and he gave him the mail. And he said that he approached him escorted by 4 brave warriors from the local tribe who were impressed by this old ranch hand. This wasn't a young ranch hand, this was an old ranch hand. And he said what he handed him was outdated newspapers and bills.
Fuck him.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
I mean,
I hope he shot him dead.
where are you going to get these? And
Damn, and bills and newspaper clippings. Like what, the fucking coupons? Damn. I mean,
Yeah.
it's same with my mail. Like nothing I get here is interesting except once in a while. You know, today's
Absolutely.
the present exception. Yeah,
Absolutely, but
that's
you
a
know,
good story though. I like that.
and that's just like less than a chapter in this book because it happened to him while he was adventuring through Africa, and he did come across those freed American slaves that became slavers themselves in Africa. I forgot which colony that was, but he met those guys along the way. This was after the American Civil War.
What I like about that story is not only the resolve, the resourcefulness of that guy who's bringing the mail, but he had something spectacular in him that he would command people to provide him with the resources he needed, right?
Yeah,
It's like this is someone who could accomplish great things.
exactly. And the way he avoided getting killed was instead of going through what they called safe areas, he went through the danger zones that everybody else avoided, thinking that if I go to the dangerous spots where no one goes, then they're not going to look for me there. None of the headhunters are going to be there. And he was right.
Yeah.
Well, that's all he did. He said he traveled by day and he just slept by fireside at night. And then there you go.
I mean, I'd hire him to deliver my comics, to be honest. Like,
Dude,
I'm trying to set up a competitor to Rippersend.
Yeah, the old guys. Yeah, dude. And I think another great story from this book is how they needed supplies and they were near a river. He's like, okay, well, how are we going to get supplies? And they decide that they are going to kill a hippo. And so they shoot a hippo. And apparently the way you hunt the hippo, you shoot it, you kill it, and you wait a half hour for its body to get bloated. Then it will float to the surface. Then they use hooks to hook the body and drag it out of the water. And he said, basically at this point, you just send a handful of guys to the local villages and you say, we shot a hippo. This is what we need. If you bring it to us, we will give you hippo meat and hippo fat. And he said within a half hour, it was like a local bazaar just opened up. And there were all these traders and locals coming from all directions looking to get a piece of that hippo meat and putting their wares out for them to look at and just like trying to get their attention. Like just this entire marketplace came to life for that hippo meat.
Now I want hippo quesadillas.
Hippo quesadillas. Now that would be interesting. Yeah, but it's so interesting digging into this culture. And it gave me a particular type of reverence for the naturalist and kind of let me take back some of my assumptions of what I think about these hunters of the past, you know? Because where else are you going to get these insane stories? And frankly, the locals of the area really didn't give a shit either. In fact, they'd welcome the hunters because if the hunters just wanted the tusks, that means there'd be 400 pounds of meat and fat left of the animal, which was usually left for the locals. And it was very common for them to throw a bonfire party around the kill and everybody just start partying and enjoying meat. Because remember, this is Africa. There is no Walmart with a meat section. You got
what? Corey Barton in the house. How you doing, Corey?
Hey, Corey.
Corey, I think we might have a publication with both our artwork coming up together. Like I've got, right, Otter? You've got Corey Barton artwork coming up in your new book?
Certainly not. Not at all. No. You can trust me on that one. No. Yeah. Both you and Corey your artwork is going to be in there.
As well as Neutron War, or not
Yes.
this? Yes, of course.
Yeah. I haven't shown you guys quite so much of Neutron Boar's artwork. He's about halfway finished with the artwork
Nice.
on his side. And I basically asked him to pretty much draw double the amount that he did last time. So there's going to be plenty of artwork in this book.
Yes, nice. Sounds great.
So you brought up the whip, and you're like, more art, faster.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, same.
That's
you do
exactly
it.
how it went.
Yeah, I know you. I know that because you do the same thing with me. So
I know, right?
gotta do that.
Isn't it
And,
great?
Art
I
is
love it.
fantastic.
I love it. I mean, it's good to know that your art is valued and people are expecting it. You know,
It hurts so good.
it hurts so good. And Corey's brother has a great online course as well that I joined recently, like something that Tenkage was recommending. Wrangler thing. And you get all the hi there's everybody. Super hot babe art. Listen, I can't compete with your super hot babe art.
Oh boy.
We know you've cornered the market, okay? I'm going for my French artsy style, okay? That's my
Corey's got a
corner
bit of
here.
a monopoly in that market.
I'm going for the European, lewd
Lewd.
kind of slice, of,
EW.
slice of the pie
EL.
there.
L, I mean, EL.
Yeah.
L. Yeah, but that's this book that I picked up. Finally came in the mail. I'm going to be reading it a lot, and I'm going to be saving up for an official first edition. That's going to cost me at least several $100s.
Wow, man. It's like the story behind the book is as interesting as the story inside the book. Maybe more so, even. you
Yeah.
know?
That's what makes a good book, bro. And yeah, history, man. I'll be
I-
keeping my eye out for more.
Wow. I love the binding on this, too. Like, it's
Yeah.
got...
It's leather binding.
Is that an inscription, or is that just abstract texture there going
It's
up
it's
and down?
kind of like it's a design, a foliage design.
Okay.
But it's hard to see with this light. Let me turn down the light here. You might be able to see the text.
wanderings. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a little...
Move it over that way and move this light over that way.
See a little bit.
Yeah, it's the top light. But as you can see, it's engraved here. The text is engraved. I got 3 lights on this thing to get rid of all the shadows from all directions. Because, without any of the lights, you flip it open, you see lots more shadows going on. But great book. This version was about $35, and I think like $48 after shipping and handling. But that's the only way I was able to hunt down this art, man.
It's good, man. It sounds like you're getting closer and closer to what you're looking for, which is your original copy.
Yes. So hopefully next 3 or 4 months, I'll save up enough cash to be able to drop several $100s on a book, which, yeah, that's fun. But hey, that's part of the collecting of books, because slimy lawyers like me, that's what we do. We collect old books. We're in
Do you
the
want to
paper.
see? I was telling you about my 1927 book. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, show us. I am
Okay.
blown up though. You got to de-blow me.
Yeah, I don't. I got a what?
I'm going to
De-blow
quote
me
that.
Hold on. I've got a full screen.
Because I'm blown up.
Yeah, no, I know. All right, here we go. All right, give
You've
me a
blown him
second.
too much, Frederick.
I know. I'm not used to this. I'm almost boomering it, but I'm not a boomer. So hold on, I'll be right back. Let me grab that book.
Yes. What do you guys collect besides, good people and fun video games? Ooh, wow. Look at that cover. Science of Eugenics. Yes, you were telling me about this one. We can't hear you, though. You're muted.
Thank God. Okay, here we go.
Wow.
This is a beautiful book I picked up at an old what was it? It's a shop that was selling really old furniture and stuff. And was one book that was sitting on a table there, like for $20. I was like, this is such a rare find. Like for $20.
Yes.
I gotta
Oh gosh, look at
pick
that
it up.
paper.
Yeah, it's really old.
That's old. Oh gosh.
Yeah, you got a color
The
print
art.
here.
It's real.
Oh no, this
Whoa.
is real. Sex, life, love, marriage, maternity.
Yeah.
How dare
Science.
you show real art?
Yeah, and color too.
And this is 1927, but it's not the first print, I believe. There's
Yeah.
copyright 1914 to 1927.
Gotcha.
So this is the 26th printing.
Oh wow. Very popular book.
Total sale to date near 250,000.
I guess eugenics was just really popular back in the day.
Damn. So what is eugenics? What does it mean? Eugenics is a new science, well, new 1927 new, which has as its object the betterment of the human race, and it embraces all forces and factors, whether hygienic, biology, social, or economic, which are or may be influential in the uplifting and improvement of mankind. So total alt-right, extreme right. There we go. You got a lot of text, but you got some pictures that are worth a look at here. A lot of chapters. I don't want to miss any of them. Here's where it starts. Part 1, chapter 1. You got these nice little weird
Oh,
letters at the beginning of the
nice.
chapter.
Nice format.
Yeah, and look at how much it's the same with your book as well. Like,
Yeah.
look at how much space you have around the text. Now it seems that books are like take up the whole
Everything.
geography. There's no room for the paper to breathe. And I think back in the day, you used to take pencil notes in the book as well. Like you would
Oh, yeah. I
add
could see
your
that.
own, especially as students, you would add notes. Thought there were more pictures.
That's really cool, though. I mean, just looking at the format of the text alone, the pages.
I wouldn't have bought it if there weren't more pictures in here. Oh, wait.
Yeah. We just flipped through a few.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah. Sterilization.
Huh.
Some recent developments.
Yeah, there's paperwork for that.
Twilight
Like
sleep. The loveliest sight a mother's eyes can rest upon in this world is her newborn child, a living part of her very self. It is the supreme moment of her life when all fear and pain forgotten, she hears the cry of life and feels the first touch of tiny fingers. Beautiful little text here.
Wow.
After the bath, painting. So yeah, hygiene, got
Whoa.
biological stuff. Yeah, you got a little bit of
Look at that.
the lungs illustrated, and I don't know why this image is in color more than anything
Yeah.
else. You got the arteries here, blue and red.
Oh,
Look
no.
at those lungs.
Maybe it's good for reference material.
That's a big pair of lungs. You have it in black and
Oh.
white here, much more messy.
That's still
diagram.
nice, though. I like that.
It's cool to look at. It's cool to look at these old. This is the stomach, intestines, and
I mean,
gallbladder.
I'm impressed by the format and layout of the words alone. Like, that captivates me, too. Ooh,
Yeah,
brain.
for sure. Oh, look, the phrenological chart of the
Cool.
human brain. Sublimity, beauty, mirth. Do I have any mirth? When's the last time you guys felt any mirth?
Mirth. I don't know what that really means.
Who needs
Speak for
I
yourself.
don't know. I'm too much of a grumpy cat.
I like that the secrecy is like the one that's further into the
and
brain
pity.
here. It's like you really got to dig to get to. Oh, love is in the back of the neck. Yeah, I mean, anyone who's ever like rubbed you in the back of the neck here, you pretty much love them for sure. Force right next to it. Friendship, constancy, parental love. This is so strange. Worship is at the top of the head. Makes sense. Kindness. Nerve cells.
I feel like you can build an entire fictional world off that aspect alone, that brain chart.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with these old finds. Sometimes just one picture or a set of pictures can trigger an idea that'll spark a whole story down the line. Or like you say, like the way things are presented in this book, the cover, the design could be an inspiration for that you can bring back into some design elements. Sometimes people skip through that.
Yes,
a little
that
bit.
the aged paper is always a always very. It's a nice accent.
Yeah, well, the trick is you get your books printed with Amazon and you put them in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes and you get that nice crisp burnt paper look, if it doesn't completely fall to pieces.
Gets
Of
them
course.
every time.
Look at those images. I'm wondering what that text says.
Wow, Otter, you write old books. Hey, little do they know.
You write the oldest books, man.
That's a good find there. Totally not going to steal that from you someday.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind parting it with someone who would put it to good use, but I just picked it up because it was such a rare thing that I knew it's not every day you come across something like that. It was meant to be a death blow. That's right. Was this written by Margaret Sanger?
No, but she was the author.
I don't even know who the author is. Okay. Okay. From the notes of Walter J. Hayden, MD Fellow, Royal College of Surgeons, Charles H.
Wow.
Robinson, biologist, and Mary R. Mellandy, with additional new material by surgeons, physicians, and edited by Robert L. Leslie, MD. Graduate Johns Hopkins University, formerly with the United States Public Health Service. Yeah, man. Public health was taken over by the Rockefellers during those years as well.
That's right.
Right. What was the original name for Planned Parenthood? That's a good one.
Extermination.
I know, murder. Yeah, that's it.
That
It
too.
was a
The
lot
cult of
less
Molech.
subtle. Yeah. All right, let's get back to business here. Enough fooling around. Now let's get back to fooling around.
What you looking at, babe?
Car.
So, Frederick, did you ever watch wrestling a long time ago?
Yeah, sure. A little bit when I was a kid. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but it was on all the time. Basically, Saturday mornings, you'd have like the Saturday morning cartoons.
I remember that.
Around
Where none of them
11.
voiced themselves.
Yeah. And around 11 noonish, it would turn into the wrestling.
Hulk Hogan, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Iron Sheik.
Andre the Giant, which we loved Andre because he was closer to home,
Sergeant Slaughter. He brought in a lot of the G.I. Joe kids.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to mention Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, dude, he's the
yeah.
best. He's the best, man. Are you kidding?
Talk about an icon. Like, dude's been retired for years and he still gets memed.
Yeah.
Like
Mr.
decades
Perfect.
later.
He had such a great character developed. And I also Roddy Piper. He
Yep.
was very popular back in the day as well.
Yeah, he was. It's
Well, I
really
rewatched,
more popular now for They Live.
I just rewatched fucking Razorfist video on every British YouTube channel ever.
Oh,
Is that an old video?
Yeah, it's from 3 years ago.
Okay.
Where the entire for like 12 minutes, the entire video is a fucking parody of those channels. Like at no point during the entire video does he break character. Of being the most obnoxious fucking British channel. That's how shit they are.
Do you want to pull it up? Do you want to watch an excerpt of it?
Sure, I could pull up a little bit of it.
Pull up.
I'm the one thing I was disappointed about it. You never made a sequel to it. You should
Oh.
have. It was that fucking good. He should have done that, but he should have done video game reviewers, like fucking Luke Steven type channels and shit.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Like, I'm genuinely disappointed he didn't do that or hasn't. You know what? Next time he's streaming, someone super chat and be like, "Hey, man, do this."
I actually super chatted him a little while back. I was like, "Hey, when are you gonna actually review Fawford and the Grey Mouser?" He's like, "Oh shit, I need to do that."
I mean, I like Razorfist. He's one of the few Americans who knows about Bond Disney and more than the, obvious titles as well.
OS What Culture Lamer here with yet another generic UK-based wrestling YouTube channel. Yes, friends and countrymen, the UK, the only country.
Have you never seen this video?
No, this is this Razorfix doing the parody?
Yes, the entire
Wow.
video, all
I didn't
12
know he
minutes,
did
and
that.
10 seconds.
And it
All right.
gives the faintest fleeting fraction of a fuck about the wrestling business. Whether Impact, WWE, or our personal fucking fleshlight AEW, just put it on the telly, and provided we paid our fucking TV license, we'll lap it up like bland, starchy food. As this is the internet, and I have the creative prowess of Amy Schumer, it'll be a top 5 list, because, folks, this is an English wrestling channel, and by God, it's the law. Also, as all my repulsively obese collaborators and I have the personal politics of a Starbucks barista, we'll keep the title controversial and the opinions utterly mediocre. So without further ado, let's cue up our sonically non-threatening background music so we can zoom in on copyrighted photos and discuss today's milquetoast fucking topic. Because it's time to count down the 5 times in professional wrestling that's a controversial thing possibly happened, maybe didn't, but let's all pretend to be offended about it anyway. Number 5, Stone Cold Steve Austin said a saucy word. As every real wrestling fan knows, the most distinctive thing about Steve Austin was his ring attire. Black boots, black trunks, first name, last name, creative, fucking...
As you can watch the whole video.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I didn't know he did those. Damn.
No, he only ever did one, and it just came out of fucking nowhere.
In my opinion,
Really?
some of his absolute best videos came out between like 2015 and 2020. Like some peak Razorfist videos came out around that time.
Tinkock, the fucking WWE games, I just played the fucking one that came out last year. The fucking showcase mode was so fucking ass.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the actual good fucking WrestleMania matches weren't even playable. Let's do another. And all the modern crap. Holy shit. The only reason I know some of the modern wrestlers' names is from them games, and they're fucking ass. They're some of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, wrestling never made a comeback, did it? Like, it seems that it died back in the 80s.
No. It started falling off real hard in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Because, what was it, 2005, 2006 is when Vince McMahon's wife was running for office. So then everything had to be turned down to PG level.
Fuck me.
Oh, I love how it's still meme today, like how like not give a fuck WWF and WWE were back in the day. Like there's videos all over it on like Twitter and everything. It's like full on like it's basically heavy metal magazine level of like stuff. I'm like, shit, they did not care.
Dude, the female wrestlers were just fucking like porn stars for wrestling.
They were
That's all
like
they were.
flashing everybody and everything. I'm like, holy shit, man, this was on live TV too.
Yes. Well, I mean, there was also I forgot, one of the ones where Vince McMahon, they acted like he got his head shoved up the Big Show's ass.
Damn.
And then, what was it? They had Kane play basically a rapist in one of the fucking stories.
Oh my god.
Oh boy. But now it's really shit. Like, I stopped watching it when I was, I think around 2010, 2011. It was around 12. Something like that, if I remember correctly. That's when I stopped. It was really bad then. And then we need to bring Readout on here. It's Readout real.
Yeah, Readout's
I
never.
was talking to him.
He's got the yeah. He's on the you know the Discord. He should have access to the link, but we never formally invited him onto the show. But
So-
come on down.
It was
Talk about
like I think
trains.
two years ago, I want to say. He was watching like I think it was WrestleMania 38, 39, where the fuck it was. I don't know which one it was. Either way, he was watching it and he was so fucking disappointed.
That's funny.
Because, what was it? I think around 2015, you know who Roman Reigns is, right?
No, I do not.
So he's like, he's related to The Rock and shit.
Okay.
So, anyways, they tried bringing in him, and then he was the most hated person in wrestling.
Okay, is that a good thing? Like, there's
No, bad.
not hated because he's a heel. Like,
No. He wasn't playing the heel. They were pushing him as a face because they wanted him to be the replacement for John Cena.
and it wasn't sticking.
No, it was so bad. Like they'd done this for it was like 5 years or 5 to 6 years of trying to push him to the point where they were editing the signs in the crowd that were saying he fucking sucked dick. They tried bringing him. They tried announcing, or before they announced them, they would have a video of him like helping veterans, right? Before doing his entrances, and people still fucking booed him. To the point where they even brought The Rock out to have The Rock be like, "Hey man, he's cool" and all this, and The Rock ends up like holding up his arm and shit, and everyone's just fucking booing. And the fucking Rock is like visibly fucking confused.
So when did The Rock come in? Because I never saw The Rock growing up. He was before my time. After my time, I should say.
So he was around the 90s and early 2000s.
Okay.
Is when The Rock was really
Right.
being pushed. Same time as mostly Stone Cold. Even though Stone Cold, I think, was around since the 70s as well. 70s, 80s.
Oops. Did I
Yeah.
just kick on.
Oh, here's Readout.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Hey,
Matter of
Readout.
fact, send the
Yeah.
link to
Get
Readout.
on here.
Readout. Do you have the link in the chat area within my Discord? Hop on if you want.
Yeah, bring
even
him
if-
on.
Even if you don't want, hop on.
So pretty much you had COVID go on, and then they actually allowed the dude who's Roman Reigns to actually like fucking
Yeah.
work and do what he wanted. So he played a heel at that point, and then everyone actually loved him.
Oh, the same guy you were talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
the company for like 6 years was trying to push this motherfucker as the face of the company. And
Gotcha,
it was not
gotcha.
going well. Readout can tell you more. Readout knows more than me.
Hey, remember the Hollywood Blondes?
Yeah, that was
I
with Stone
remember.
Cold.
Yep. I'm trying to remember what his name was before he became Stone Cold.
I think it was just Steve Austin. Let me look it up. I actually remember kind of.
Hold on.
Then Kane was Dr. Isaac Yankem.
Do I have readouts? I don't know if I have ever.
Just send him into his DM chat.
That's what I'm looking for. His DM. I don't think I've ever DM'd readout.
Want me to send it?
Mankind was the funniest.
Yeah, if you have quick
Oh, yeah,
access to it.
I don't have that access. Never mind.
Oh.
Oh wait, I could just go. I could just go in, copy and paste.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he was just called Steve Austin.
Yes. It's in the link is in the chat area in my Discord, so you're already
Yep.
part of the Proof of Comics. So if you scroll down, there's a Tuesday art stream chat, and you got the link to the StreamYard right there. Read out. You're welcome to join
And
us.
evidently TNA is back, like actual
Really?
TNA before they, because they tried that in the early 2000s. I remember watching that, and that show, good lord, they just could not do anything. Matter of fact, it parallels the AEW shit.
Interesting. I didn't know The Rock was from a long line of wrestlers.
Yeah, his dad was.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that either.
His father's name was Rocky. What was it? Rocky Johnson.
Yeah, but he was in the business.
And The Rock. Yeah. And wasn't he in an episode of Star Trek?
Who, The
Yeah.
Rock?
Yeah.
He was Voyager.
Ugh.
Huh.
Yeah. I threw it up a little bit.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome. First time to the show. Readout Productions. Welcome. Readout.
Welcome.
It all began in 2014.
Of course.
Here
See,
we go.
it was around the time when CM Punk, who was probably one of the most popular wrestlers with the diehard crowd, got fired by WWE. So that happened.
Did he get fired, or if I remember correctly, he just left?
Was
No,
this
no,
still
he was
WWF
fired.
at the
He was
time?
fired. Well, he was let go essentially. The story is he was let go on his wedding day. They sent him his papers on his wedding day. That's how he's always stated.
Okay. I'm trying to remember. I remember when he went back, he went there, and then I think he went to UFC after that and got his fucking shit kicked out.
Yeah, got absolute shit kicked out. The reason I bring him up is so you understand what was going on around the time that you had probably the most popular wrestler at the diehards walk out, fire, however you want to call it, from the company. And then around that time, John Cena was going Hollywood. And let's be honest, most of the diehard crowd didn't like John Cena to begin with.
Because he sucked. He's
So
ass.
WWE wanted the next John Cena. And at this time, they had The Shield, which was this trios group that was probably the most popular act, second to CM Punk himself. So they decided Roman Reigns is going to be the next big Cena. He's going to be our face for the company to go forward, that we can put him on all the title matches, put him on all the posters, send him out all the talk shows, the works. The problem is Roman Reigns, before he got into WWE, didn't really have a wrestling background. He was actually a football player for the Canadian Football League for several years. And he is related to the Nwahi family, this big Samoan family that's The Rock's from, the Uso tag teams are from, Rikishi, if you remember him from late 90s.
That's kind of where I think wrestling.
I mean, it goes the Wild Samoans. I mean, they're all related into each other as cousins or brothers. It's a big family. So he is from that historic family, but he really wasn't in wrestling as in his first years. He was into football. The other two members of the Shield, they had been in wrestling for about a decade. They had worked in the smaller wrestling scenes, the independent circuit. John Moxley, who was known as Dean Ambrose in WWE, he wrestled out of Combat Zone Wrestling in Philadelphia. Tyler Black, who's known as Seth Rollins now in WWE, he was wrestling in Ring of Honor, also out of Philadelphia. So those guys were popular at the diehards. Roman Reigns wasn't so much. And WWE's like, no. Roman Reigns is now the face of the company. So 2014, they let him break Kane's record in the Royal Rumble. This is the same Royal Rumble that afterwards Punk was gone from the company. Then they had Seth Rollins join a new version of the Authority faction. Instead of having Vince run the Authority, now it was Triple H run the Authority. That was somewhat interesting. Dean Ambrose did what Dean Ambrose does. And then we get to 2015 Royal Rumble, where they had, not only did they have Roman Reigns win the Royal Rumble, and if you win the Royal Rumble, you get the main event of WrestleMania. They had it set so Daniel Bryan, who was another popular wrestler with the diehards, you're from the small scene of like the independent circuit, like Ring of Honor and CZW, they had him eliminated very early in the match. And he was the one everybody wanted to win because he was coming back from a big neck injury. And the crowd, which I should mention, this occurred in Philadelphia. Noticing these ties here, booed the shit out of Roman. And I mean, now watching it a decade later, it is scary how visceral the crowd was. They had The Rock come out after Roman won the match to raise his hand to try to win favor. that just made it worse. And what followed, because I don't want to do every single year, what followed was for the next consecutive WrestleManias, WWE always put in Roman Reigns in the main event scene. Now, in WrestleMania 31, his first main event, which nobody wanted to be in, he was wrestling Brock Lesnar, who's probably the most real wrestler you can get in WWE at this time, because successful UFC career, he's able to make German suplexes look as painful as possible. He has the Kimura lock submission. Like, everything he does looks legit painful because, well, he's used to actually legit hurting people in the
and they
octagon.
can't talk about Brock Lesnar anymore.
Oh yeah, we can't talk about him anymore, but that's a whole other story. So they had it to be Roman versus Brock, and at the last minute they decided, okay, the fans don't want Roman to be champion, so let's have Seth Rollins jump in the ring, and he is going to cash in this contract he won earlier in the year, which guarantees a title match anytime, any place. They have Seth Rollins coming at the 11th hour, cash in during the main event of Mania, and he wins the world title, which diehard fans like Seth Rollins, so everybody was happy. And to this day, WrestleMania 31 is great in my opinion. And that match, especially that moment with Seth Rollins.
Was that the YouTube button one?
Yeah, but the actual Mania was really good. The build was terrible, but the actual matches, that was entertaining.
Do you think they actually had that plan? Because I think he had a match with Randy Orton that night.
If they had a plan, they didn't tell Roman Reigns' family because apparently his family got really upset. Like, got into an argument with backstage talent, like, well, it was wrong, it was our such and such time, and they're like, yeah, about that. So that they saved themselves a WrestleMania 31. WrestleMania 32, they had Roman fight Triple H, who came out of retirement, had won the championship for a 14th time, and they were basically trying to do Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon, but in 2016. Yes, it was that bad. And everybody cheered Triple H. Everybody booed Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns won. This was supposed to be his crowning moment because he vanquished the Authority, but you're not Steve Austin. Oh, by the way, this WrestleMania occurred in Texas, by the way, in Dallas, Texas. So coincidence on that. WrestleMania 33. It gets worse. Then they decided, well, if they won't accept him as the face for being champion, dethroning Triple H, what if he retires The Undertaker at WrestleMania? By this point, WWE had already messed up Undertaker.
Oh, yeah, because they had Brock Lesnar beat him.
Well, I've had my personal theories that they may have had to cut that match short, and I was like, they're like, to cover him, because
I think Razor Fist, I remember his take on that what they should have did is they should have brought Kane back, right?
I never heard his take. I never heard his take about it.
So the take was supposed to be you bring back Kane, right? Just for one more time, you bring back Kane. You have him. You do the brothers conflict resolution story, right? Have him beat Undertaker, right? And then in the streak. And then what you could have done is whoever you wanted to really push the next year, you have Kane versus whoever. Right?
I never thought about that because it could have finished. It would have been a trilogy because Kane and Taker had 2 previous matches at Mania. That would have made a third one. So it could have worked. Taker legit had health problems at that point when he lost to Brock Lesnar. Like, the story is he completely passed out backstage. Like, he was not well. So I've always wondered the reason Lesnar was able to defeat Taker, the first man to defeat Taker WrestleMania, was kind of a in the ring moment. They're like, we gotta go home now. We gotta end this. He's not well.
I don't completely believe that because they were really pushing Brock at that time.
That's true. But anyways, I want to tell the saga of Roman Reigns. We could tell the saga of Taker later. So Taker, who had already lost his streak a number of years ago, but everybody still highly respects the man. They decide he's going to retire at WrestleMania 33 at the hands of Roman Reigns. You could probably imagine how that went. The match is boring. The crowd was dead. It was so bad that Taker began a quest for a retirement match. He had 5 different retirement matches between 2017 and 2020. It was ridiculous.
Wait. So he's basically Ric Flairing it.
Yeah, because I don't know if he actually had 5. I know that at one point he and Kane teamed up to wrestle Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Yes, they brought Shawn out of retirement for a Saudi Arabia show, which, by the way, I do not acknowledge the Saudi Arabia shows. They do not exist.
I'm also going to say something. How are you going to top what was it, WrestleMania 25 and 26 with Shawn Michaels?
Exactly. Yeah.
They tried to repeat it and fucking shit on it.
So we get to 2018 WrestleMania 34. Guess what the main event is? Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar again. It didn't go well again. The crowd booed it again. It was another boring match.
Some people never learn.
No,
this company did not.
No, this went on for 4 years. And I mean, we're talking about the biggest show of the year for WWE. I'm not covering all the other pay-per-views and all the stuff we had to sit through. Though, and here's what I'll say, because this story does have a good ending. This does have a happy ending. The problem is Roman Reigns isn't the lines WWE was feeding him, and by lines, I mean Vince McMahon was feeding him, were horrible. And Roman Reigns does what Roman Reigns is going to do. Roman Reigns, he comes out. He's a big individual.
Wait, what do you mean the lines they're feeding him?
Yeah, the ones that they were specifically telling him.
Like when they do like the interview packages, the hype.
Are you saying this is scripted?
No shit.
Wrestling is scripted?
No shit. Wrestling scripted? No.
Yeah, it's wrestling is
well,
scripted.
funny thing, professional wrestling is actually a complete circus, and it's actually a form of theater when you really think about it, and it requires storytelling, really good storytelling to suspend disbelief so people enjoy all the bollocks happen in the ring. So when you're writing really bad lines like suffering succotash and trying to have your badass anti-hero say it in a arena full of 15,000 bloodthirsty Philadelphians.
Hold up. Also,
that's called bad writing.
Read out. Also,
Damn.
the facial expressions they wanted him to make during the promos. and reactions.
So what I want to say is Roman Reigns could be, at this point, it was like everybody was saying, it could be a great character in pro wrestling. Like here you have somebody with this legacy, all these he's descended from all these famous Samoan wrestlers over the decades. You can make him into this, trying to protect that family lineage. You could turn him into a no nonsense silent murderer essentially in the ring. You maybe get him a manager because he's not doing enough lines. No, they insisted, no, he is now the new John Cena. He is going to say all these carny lines and it's going to go horrible and we're not going to listen to anybody. And it went on for years. WrestleMania 35, I think at this point, I don't think he had a WrestleMania 35 match. If I'm not mistaken, was that when because it does get sad. Genuinely, you have to separate fiction from reality. The man who plays Roman Reigns, he actually, he was diagnosed once and diagnosed for a second time with leukemia in his life.
Oh, Jesus.
And I forget if that was around WrestleMania 35 or after. I believe that was when he got like they actually had to come on air and he had to basically tell his real name and had to drop the title. And it was probably the first time anybody actually cheered the man because he just came out and was like, well, here's the deal. I have to leave and, go through. Yeah, I have to go through treatment again.
Wait, the only time the crowd cheered was when they found out he had leukemia?
No, they didn't cheer him, but nobody was giving. Nobody was
getting booed to death.
Yeah,
they're like, okay, well, he's already got it bad. Let's not.
Yeah,
like I said, when they tried playing the veteran thing, they still booed his ass.
So finally, we get to the pandemic. The worst. You never thought I would say the pandemic's a good thing, and since there's no crowds now and everything is just terrible in the world, in pro wrestling as well, we have nothing left to lose. Let's just throw things at the wall to see what sticks. And they finally broke down and made Roman Reigns a heel when he came back. And funny enough, his new storyline was that he was basically snapping from all the hatred he's received over the years, and that he decided he must win the WWE Championship again and hold it forever to protect his family lineage. and that he was, as he called it, the head of the table, and everybody must acknowledge him. And I'm going to tell you what, it is one of, if not the best storylines in pro wrestling in the 21st century. And that's what's actually been going on in WWE since the pandemic, the Bloodline storyline, where he formed a faction with himself, his real life cousins, the Usos, who they got like a crap ton of tag titles during the storyline. We had some fun shenanigans with Sami Zayn being like the comedic sidekick and being an honorary Uso. That was a thing that happened. And Paul Heyman, manager of Brock Lesnar, he did. The Ginger did get acknowledged. He was acknowledged by the tribal chief. That's Roman's now namesake. And Paul Heyman, who was the manager of Brock Lesnar, became the manager of Roman Reigns. And wouldn't you know it, I want to say it was a silent, because he would still have speaking lines, but they were much more slow, methodical. Like the storyline was like a mafia storyline. Like you don't know at any moment when Roman Reigns is going to snap and just basically take somebody out. Somebody's going to get whacked by Roman in the bloodline. You just never know. It is so good. I mean, and there's comedic stuff in as well where they play fun at the ridiculousness of the storyline, but it works so good. But you know how long it took to get something good? It took half a decade of them.
And it didn't come from WWE management, from Vince.
Well, basically WWE pounded their heads against the brick wall so much. I don't think they have a head on the body anymore. It's just, like a bloody stump that was on the top of the neck. And of course, then in the recent years, all these sexual allegations came up on Vince, which story for another day.
Paul Heyman must be like actually ecstatic since he's no longer with Brock and stuff came out.
Oh yeah, and Paul Heyman finally got attached to a storyline that actually worked, because they don't really say, but you have to know that he's having some creative input in the Bloodline saga for how much he's like an on-air character to it. So that's it has a happy ending. Roman Reigns did become the face of WWE. He did become it, but it took years of WWE refusing to listen to the fans. Everybody telling them this is what you should do with Roman Reigns. Don't try to make him John Cena 2.0, because we didn't like John Cena 1.0. Why don't you actually make him a badass? And then it took them half a decade to figure it out.
You would have been funny if someone just played John Cena's appearance, like his first appearance on ECW.
Well, that was just basically every time Roman Reigns came out for 5 years.
I know. So, Frederick, you remember ECW, or you know about ECW?
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
So it was like a little indie one. They're all fucking on drugs and shit, but it was run by Paul Heyman.
Okay.
WWE ended up buying them.
Okay.
And they decided to bring on John Cena at that time, that they were really beginning their up-and-coming super star and shit, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the crowd of ECW... they're very rated R.
Okay.
And they do not give a fuck. The crowd does.
Oh, thank you, Tenkage. Appreciate it.
So they had John Cena come out and do all of this, and they were calling him a faggot.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Very good. And that's what basically what happened to Roman Reigns for 6 years.
Yeah, so Matt, it only happened one night. Well, Cena got booed several nights, but only one night John Cena really got the "F you Cena" chant consistently from his face. That unfortunately happened to Roman Reigns for half a decade.
Oh, wow.
And it's because the supposed creative writers that are making all this great content that it's their IQ's above everybody watching wouldn't get the message.
So great. Trust us, guys. Clearly, it's you who are wrong.
What are they going to do when Roman Reigns retires? He's getting up to age now.
Yeah, he's 39, and I think at this point, he's already referenced he's kind of wanted to phase his way out of wrestling, go to lesser matches, and I don't blame the man after everything he's been through.
You want to know what match was probably one of the biggest letdowns I've seen in all the time I've watched? They did a lot of build up to it as well. It was I hate it. I just blanked on his name.
Lesnar versus Goldberg.
Yes.
WrestleMania 20.
I like the read. I just knew which one was the biggest.
One
one of the greatest letdowns in wrestling
Yeah,
history.
the whole crowd was chanting
The which match? Hold up.
boring.
Repeat that again.
So
Goldberg versus who?
Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
The WrestleMania 20.
is that the
which-
one where he got fucking punted in the face?
No,
both did.
Goldberg punted Bret
Austin
Hart
was
in
in
the
that.
face, and that ended Bret Hart's career. That's what Goldberg's known for with punting, well, super kicking.
No, I'm trying to think of one that happened to him as well. I don't know. Continue.
But all you need to know about WrestleMania 20, Goldberg versus Lesnar, was Lesnar was leaving WWE for the National Football League. And Goldberg, who is actually a former NFL player, was also leaving WWE because he just didn't have a good time. So everybody kind of knew that both of these guys were leaving after WrestleMania 20, but WWE was like trying to hype this matchup, and the crowd's like, why do we care? Whoever wins are leaving.
And it was a boring match.
Yeah, and basically both guys had the same attitude, like, why do we care? It's our last night. We don't want to get hurt in before our new jobs.
The only one who got any cheers out of that entire match was Austin, because he sent them both out with a stunner.
Yeah. It's the only way you could do it. When in doubt, you just drag Stone Cold Steve Austin out and he'll make everybody happy.
So where do they find writers for wrestling like that? Like, are they unique to wrestling that they're figuring out the writing from the previous...
Well, in theory, you would hope it would be people who were actual wrestlers or people have actually been in the business for years. But when you get to your bigger companies, sometimes it's just straight up like soap opera writers or writers that are working in, like, I guess you want to call like writing groups and for like low tier television, just bouncing around. And they're like, hey, we could pay you for a good deal. And by good deal, it's way lower than other things for us. But
wasn't it a while there for a while in WWF? It was like a lot of the wrestlers ended up writing the scripts and everything for what they were going to do. Am I mistaken on that?
You're supposed to, the idea is supposed to be especially when you get to bigger companies, the wrestler has an input with behind the scenes talent, and that most of your behind the scenes talent are former wrestlers. So they sympathize or understand where their mindset's coming from, and then kind of run up the chain of command to the top of the company. It's like, we're thinking about this. But no, for many years, most of the 21st century, WWE's had like non-wrestling writers, if that makes sense. Like the actual writing pool or the creative thought process, they're completely disconnected from the business.
The last ones they had was like Vince or something.
I'd say recently that's changed a lot since the pandemic. That's starting to change pretty considerably. You're hearing a lot more about wrestlers you're familiar with in the 90s and 2000s being behind the scenes and having an input. You'll hear about people basically booking a match or producing a match. I know it sounds weird to say. These guys are credited with producing tonight's match. You'll hear names like, I think Bobby Roode, who wrestled for a long time for Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. He's now a producer for WWE. So you hear his name thrown out like, hey, that match you just saw. Oh, they won't say it on WWE. They come out and say it, but the people who have sources behind the scenes will say it.
By the way, I'm going to bring this up now since you actually just brought up TNA. Did WWE just buy them or something?
So what happened was they've entered a working relationship, but I don't blame you thinking that, because I'm saying the same thing, because now every episode of NXT or every episode of TNA is this guy from the other company. And I'm like, did they get bought out? I'm having like the same real reaction. I'm like,
well, because I saw for the first time in a long time, they're actually called TNA now, because they were TNA and then they got SmackDown and then they
do we have to explain the saga of TNA tonight?
Yeah. And then I saw a trailer or a commercial or whatever, and I was like, fucking TNA. God.
Can we talk about how many times that company changed its name in 2017? Yes, we're going to do it. So Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, in the ashes of the Monday Night War, and those that know in the wrestling lore, was the big television ratings battle that WWE and WCW did when they had Monday Night Raw and Monday Nitro, respectively, going to war on rival networks. And then in the ashes, WCW totally collapsed and got bought out by WWE. This is also when ECW collapsed. Several other companies collapsed.
Which I think didn't WCW also had kind of the same problem that AEW was having, where they were overbuying talent and shit?
Oh yeah,
way too much.
Oh yeah, AEW's
Now they
heading
were
fast
they
down
were
the
actually,
WWE
unlike
pipeline.
AEW, they were actually kicking the shit out of WWE
But
or
then we have
WWF
to
at
get
the
into the
time.
NWO
Ratings.
storyline. I need to tell you about the fun times of TNA in 2017. So you must understand, TNA was formed by Jeff Jarrett and his father, like months after. Well, actually, about a year after WCW collapsed, and there's no rival wrestling for WWE. So there is a market for it. Was what I'm saying. So, and yes, they called it TNA, Total Non-Stop Action Wrestling. Vince Russo was its first major booker. Ooh, the innuendos were highly prevalent. Vince Russo loves his innuendos. It started in Nashville, Tennessee, but by 2004, this little company moved into a soundstage in Universal Studios, Florida, where they produced for over a decade most of their content. It was a very small company in crowd attendance, but they started getting good TV deals. They were on Spike TV for many
The
years.
Spike TV deal was their biggest break, and that's where they
I'd
were
probably
really-
say the two biggest names they got for wrestling that WWE didn't have their hands on. TNA had Sting after the fall of WCW, which was a big deal. They also a couple.
They
who
had
else?
Hulk Hogan on there. They had Kurt Angle.
Yeah, Kurt Angle's the other big one. That's what I was thinking of. Now they had
Ric
a lot
Flair,
of their.
of course, Ric Flair
Yeah,
for a while.
they had a lot of homegrown talent like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, and but unfortunately, as Billy's pointed, later by the 2010s, they're signing elderly legendary people. Elderly
Yes.
legends. It is the truth. They're like, we got to get Hulk Hogan on here. He can't wrestle. We got to get Ric Flair. We don't want him to wrestle. He's probably going to die in the ring.
Oh, here's the thing. They had Ric Flair, and Ric Flair, he loves doing the blood, right? And at this time, he's like, what, 60 years old?
Yeah. Remember, he's still alive now.
And he's fucking.
He would have been like 62 around then.
Yeah, and then they had him do like fucking 4 or 5 fights, and every time he's like, all right, I got to get out the let me get some blood. I mean, this old man.
So unfortunately, TNA's like peak in terms of viewership was also at the point where we're starting to go downhill because it was the elderly legends filling the ring, and slowly all your homegrown talent started to leave the company.
Oh, you forgot one other talent.
Who did I forget?
Kong.
Oh, Awesome Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
she had a-
fucking WWE would
She
not
was there
let her
for like
carry
3
over that name.
months.
Huh?
She was there for like 3 months in WWE.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let her carry over her fucking name.
But
Remember?
come on, I'm telling you, this is building to one of the most hilarious. So TNA around 2014, they tried to actually go touring like WWE. No, that was in 2013. Didn't work. Financially got it done.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Jeff Johns actually ended up getting pushed out by the other chick, right? Who ended up owning.
Yeah, then we got into like a whole bunch of backstage stuff over who owned TNA. The Jarretts, most of their shares went to Dixie Carter, who was initially a minority holder, then she became a majority holder. Then, when they were in financial straits, she started selling shares to Billy Corgan. Yes. that's Billy
Yeah.
Corgan. I'm not joking.
I know he talked about it on the Joe Rogan
Yeah.
show, how he got into wrestling.
Hey, I'm gonna
Bought a
ask
lot of
y'all
it.
one question. When we say Awesome Kong, what type of wrestler do you think we're talking about?
Awesome Kong.
Mm-hmm. What do you think the wrestler looks like?
I don't know. He's either Japanese or hairy or
You were
something.
clearly not listening to our conversation.
Oh,
Here's Awesome
damn.
Kong.
Oh,
She's
no.
probably one of the most popular female wrestlers of the 21st century.
Wait, there's
Very
female
popular in
wrestling?
Japan.
I didn't
Here's
even-
the thing. She
I
was
didn't even
actually
know
good
that
at
that was a
wrestling.
thing.
She actually was good at. She's one of the very few actual good female wrestlers.
Okay.
She's very good at her role. Just too bad that every other one were fucking, basically porn stars, so they didn't know how to wrestle. So she had to work with that.
building up to the humor of TNA in 2017. So yeah, Billy Corgan's buying into shares in TNA because the company's going into financial straits. He's like, I'll support it. I love wrestling. And that wasn't a good thing because it got worse. Then it was discovered. So Spike TV was about to renew TNA's contract. And then they discovered that covertly TNA was still being booked by Vince Russo. You know why that's a problem? Basically because when Vince Russo was last in charge, they had a lot of issues with TV ratings, and he was Dixie Carter told Spike that, yes, I have fired Vince Russo, when in fact she did not. So when Spike found out that she had lied to them, Spike wasn't renewing that contract.
Oh.
So they were without a TV deal. They ended up going to, well, they bounced around. I think at one point they ended up on Destination America. And eventually they ended up on Pop TV, which in the United States is just basically the TV Guide channel.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it went down quickly. And by 2017, TNA decided they were going to change names to, they became Impact Wrestling. And then Jeff Jarrett came back, who had made his own company called Global Force Wrestling. And then they decided to merge. They decided to merge the companies.
I forgot about that.
And then
it was so bad. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. The logo was so bad for that one as well.
And this is just the beginning of it, guys. And then Global Force Wrestling, remember, it went from TNA to Impact to Global Force Wrestling. This is all in 2017, by the way. And then in like a month, it became the deal failed to merge, and Jarrett still had the rights to Global Force Wrestling, but they had merged with Impact Wrestling, and all the belts were Global Force Wrestling branded. They went back to Impact, and they just started putting stickers over the GFW logo when it became Impact again.
Look how bad this logo was.
Oh, yeah. That's
oh, here's the belt.
Well, Global Force Wrestling was very likely a Ponzi scheme.
Yes, probably. And if I remember correctly, their biggest talent that they had was fucking Mickey James, the chick who fucking showed her tits to 17,000 people back in like 2000 something from SmackDown. Was their biggest talent.
Another ex-WWE talent.
Yes.
So I'm sorry about the buildup, but to me, one of the most hilarious stories in wrestling history is the multiple name changes of TNA in 2017. One from TNA to Impact to Global Force Wrestling, but then they didn't finalize the deal for the merger, and then went back to Impact, but they had all the GFW belts still. It was a strange time.
I guess they couldn't even afford to redo the belts, I guess.
No, they couldn't, because they had no money. They were going in the gutter, but yet they lived. And here we are today, where last year they returned the name. They went back to TNA Wrestling again, and actually are doing pretty good. A lot of new investors. Billy Corgan's gone. Dixie Carter's long gone, or she is still there. It's a minority share. Anthem Entertainment, who mainly owns that company. So it's a very different leadership that's behind TNA today. Like, I'd say the TNA of today is night and day compared to the TNA of the early 2000s, and very thankfully a very different story than 2017.
Yeah, I like watching. You know who Marky D is, right?
Oh yeah,
I love watching his channel. Frederick, if you ever, I'll show you the channel. It's Marky D 123. He basically chronicles like TNA is mainly what he focuses on his channel, of like all the storylines
There's
from
some
TNA.
entertaining stuff from TNA. I didn't say it was good. It's just entertaining.
All this talk about wrestling, and you guys have failed to bring up the one single greatest wrestler of all time, Eugene.
Of course.
No, Hornswoggle, greatest wrestler.
Eugene.
No, Hornswoggle, greatest wrestler ever.
Look, WWE got so bad in the mid 2010s that one of the most highest rated matches they ever did was a match between two midgets. Like, everybody legit enjoyed it too. Instead of TLC, they called it WeLC.
Oh no,
Dude, where is Hornswoggle? What the fuck is he dead?
I don't know. I'm waiting for his next interview on Fox.
Oh yeah, he was the one who told that fucking leftist, "Don't talk about me." Dude, he's a badass little midget, man.
They should have thrown in that Holly guy. What were they used to joke and call him Elroy Jetson, Crash Holly. They should have thrown him in that mix.
Who? I'm trying to remember who that is.
Crash Holly. Remember Hardcore Holly?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Michael Lockwood.
It was, I think, his was his brother or cousin?
Well, it was Crash Holly. Then there was Hardcore Holly, I think.
Yeah, I think they were cousins.
You know what's
Tragic,
really
they're both
surprising?
gone
We
now.
haven't got, I don't think we've gotten any new, or I think the Hart family is dead.
Oh, you guys remember Steve Blackman? How come that guy never blew up? He was awesome.
They put a cheese on his head.
I don't remember.
Well, actually, that was hilarious. Yeah, I think it was when he was like backstage. They were doing shenanigans with Al Snow. He and Al Snow were doing stuff.
What happened to Bobby Lashley?
He's over. Oh, he's in AEW currently.
Oh.
Bobby Lashley is one of the guys. Like, there's so many chances where it's like he should be bigger than, he should be more popular. He should be the guy of a company, and he does become the guy of a company. But then things just go nowhere. And every few years he bounces around. Like, it's always a big deal when he shows up, but they never could stand the landing with him.
We didn't mention this, but I guess CM Punk went back to WWE.
Oh yeah, so
it's kind of fucking ironic.
Do I have to explain the CM Punk saga?
Yeah, go ahead and explain a little bit.
So after CM Punk left WWE or fired from WWE or however you want to call it in 2014, he decided he was done with wrestling and was going to do UFC. 2 matches later, 2 losses later, two very quick losses. He decided he was done with that. And then he very briefly showed up on a WWE talk show in like 2020. Everybody forgets this. Like, briefly he got in, but he wasn't signed through WWE. He was signed through Fox, but he was going to do a talk show. It didn't go anywhere because of the pandemic. Then All Elite Wrestling, which started in 2019 as the new competitor for WWE, complete with actually getting TV deals with Turner Broadcasting, just like WCW did.
Oh yeah.
The AEW got into talks with signing CM Punk, and they actually worked. In summer 2021, CM Punk did come back and start wrestling full-time for AEW. Well, you see, AEW is what happens when a bunch of, how am I going to put this? A bunch of nerds who don't know how to run a business, run a company. Like, everything's cool and everything's great, but they don't necessarily have like the financial savviness. They just keep going to the bank and they just assume the bank is never going to run dry.
And to also add to that, it's also people who don't understand why the Attitude Era was great, right?
Yeah, it's no, I'm wrong. AEW, especially when it started, there still are some really good matches that come out of it. AEW is really not good at storytelling. They just do, hey, let's put these 2 guys in the ring and see what happens. They're not good at trying to build a story, even though they can do it. They've proven it, but they just don't like doing it. The best way I can describe it is like, let's say somebody in Hollywood said it'd be a really good idea to have Dan Aykroyd be a director because there's these great ideas, and then he made nothing but trouble. That is AEW to the wrestling business. It's like, yes, these are great ideas. We need to condense them and refine them and give them like a focus. CM Punk did not like who was running AEW. They welcomed him in with open arms, but then he quickly realized how unprofessional they were. And he wanted out. And not once, but twice did he get into violent altercations backstage with some of those producers. Wow. Yeah, it happened twice, and it's still so controversial.
It's not normal to have violent altercations in wrestling?
Well, not behind the scenes. Storyline or real life. So, yeah, he got into 2 very bad fights with either producers or friends with the producers backstage over for real. And after the second time in 2023, he was let go by AEW. And then he went back to WWE because by this point, Vince was on his way out. Triple H was now in charge. There's the power dynamic had shifted greatly. So, like I said, a lot's changed in WWE over the years. So Punk was a little more willing to get in. So he's been WWE ever since 2003. As strange as that sounds, considering he spent almost a decade basically going on every podcast and the ride in WWE. And so far, it's so good.
He still has diehard fans. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm not like I was a big CM Punk fan back in like 2011 when he defeated Cena for the title, and then after he left WWE, of course, I was one of the many people that would be chanting CM Punk to annoy WWE whenever Roman Reigns came out. But I'm gonna say over the years, after all I've seen in AEW and WWE from him, I like his stuff, but I'm also very jaded now. I'm very more distrustworthy of all the stuff you hear behind the scenes.
I've never liked him, to be honest with you. I never got the hype when people really, really liked him.
They liked him because he was the first guy in years that WWE allowed him to have basically tell him whatever you want to say. If you want to hate us, great.
Right.
Hey, what's your favorite wrestling group?
Group like
when they have their little gangs of wrestlers and they give
the factions.
Yeah, factions.
I mean, honestly, the Bloodline has been great for the past 5 years. Yes, Roman Reigns' Bloodline, that was great. I'm trying to think like actual faction.
Right to censor.
Yeah, Stevie Richards. They came out with just an alarm warning. I'm trying. I don't know, man. I've never been really into factions. I guess I'm like, oh, those are cool people, but like really to get into like, oh, I love this. I mean, I actually liked the Blackpool Combat Club in AEW a few years ago, but that was more because I just liked everybody who was in it.
Okay, I used to watch in the Attitude Era in the early 2000s for a period of time, and I enjoyed what were they called? Too Cool with Rikishi. Master Sexay and Scotty Too Hotty.
It was Jerry Lawler's kid, right?
No idea. I only watched like, they're the guys that do the dance thing. I like these guys.
For me, wrestling peaked with Stone Cold versus Rikishi.
I did it for The Rock.
Downhill when Mick Foley was no longer commissioner.
Mick Foley was great. What do you have, like 3 personas?
Yeah, Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Mick Foley.
I liked Mankind.
Dude Love. You missed
Dude Love.
Oh yeah,
Dude Love. Totally not gay.
He's just a cool
He's still
dude
fucking alive, by the way.
Yeah,
He is still alive somehow.
Yeah.
This fucking dude.
Grandpa Foley.
Yeah.
He's like, for my next trick, I'm gonna do a somersault through a wood chipper, and then he comes out to the side, thumbs up, and a smile. Yeah.
So did they change the titles again?
What do you mean by the designs or just the names?
Yeah.
Oh, you're thinking about the most recent storyline about the WWE. What do they call the freaking title? Oh God, the lineage of the WWE Championship's a mess in itself because they always insist they got to have 2 world titles, so it's so screwed up. The title, in my opinion, is the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. No, wait, no, because it's not. Because we have a World Heavyweight Championship, but then we have the they call it
the Continental.
No, that's the Intercontinental.
Back when I watched wrestling,
But the belt that's on Cody Rhodes,
WWE
that's the
Heavyweight.
championship. Yeah. So what I was going to say is the belt that's on Cody Rhodes currently, whatever he's holding, that's to my opinion the true WWE Championship because that's the one that you can trace it all the way back to the 60s and before that. So they did a storyline where Kevin Owens, who was friends with Cody Rhodes in the storyline, helped Cody Rhodes defeat Roman Reigns in the Bloodline last year at WrestleMania. Well, gradually over time, as a new threat arose, Cody needed the Bloodline to help him. The enemy of my enemy is my friend situation. And then again, in storyline, Kevin Owens could not stand this, felt betrayed that after everything that he sacrificed for Cody, he would just go support the Bloodline. So then Kevin Owens went against Cody Rhodes, and now he wants the title. Well, they did this weird thing where there was a WWE Championship match. Cody retained the title against Kevin Owens. Kevin didn't like the result, so he just beat up Cody after the match till he couldn't get back up and then walked away with the belt and just was in this delusional state for 2 months. He just said, I'm the WWE champion. I was the last man standing. So what he did was, because Cody really wanted, because he wanted to bring out the old winged eagle design. He didn't want, as like a tribute to his father, to all like past wrestling. So
wait, he wanted to bring out the one design that people actually like, and not the
yes, the one everybody likes. Yeah, the winged eagle. It's the one from the early 90s. I'm trying to think who. It's the one that Bret Hart always held. Like it's the one everybody loves. So they brought it back for one night, but then Kevin beat Cody to a bloody pulp, walked away with the Winged Eagle, and spent the next 2 months walking around claiming himself the WWE champion with the Winged Eagle. And it led to a ladder match where they put the Winged Eagle belt and the current WWE title belt, hanged above the ring, and Cody won that as well. So that storyline's over. So that's why you saw a lot of photographs with the Winged Eagle belt lately, because Kevin's been walking around with it.
Well, I know they also changed the world one, didn't they? That's the one I think I was the one. By the way, to keep on, the only thing I know about wrestling now, just letting you know, is I play some of the 2K WWE games. I think
here's
2K24, I'm like, this belt looks different.
I got a question. Is there a comic book out there about wrestling?
Probably.
Because frankly, with all the background drama and stuff, I think that'd make an excellent comic book.
Well, I've always liked to compare it to comic books. I mean, it's live stream superhero stuntmen.
Yeah, you got the hero, you got the villain, and you got the violence and the stunts.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's what they really.
I'll tell you what, Cedric. If I
but
say
yes, there is one I know of.
There's one.
Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't a comic book. It was a children's book. My bad.
Oh.
It was they all saved the world from aliens or something.
I seen there was an anime like that, but it was very much inspired by American wrestling. But Cedric, if I save up $1,500, you want to make a wrestling one-issue comic book? Black and white.
Did you call me Cedric?
He did.
Okay.
I forgot. I mixed you up with my dead friend.
I thought there was someone else on the stream that was called Cedric.
No, it's just you.
I guess me and Billy will be creative consultants.
Dude, wrestling stories would be awesome to draw. Like big,
that's
big,
not what I
strong
asked.
characters. What did you ask? Yes, Cedric.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about the time the Ultimate
How
Warrior tried to produce a comic book?
No, I didn't.
But you know what I thought? I think Ultimate Warrior should be in the Olympics.
In the wrestling category,
he is the embodiment of saying, "I take all the drugs."
Yeah. You know what actually should be in the Olympics is Ninja Warrior. I could totally see that being a thing, can't you?
Because if you see them, they're not really ninjas. It's like, did you hear about the ninja parade they have in some town in the U.S.?
No.
It's just a day out of the year where everyone brings their lawn chair to the side of the road, and they just watch, quote unquote, the ninja parade. So all the kids are waiting to see the ninjas, and the parents are laughing. Oh, they're ninjas. You got to be good to see them because they're hard to see.
But yeah, let me know how much, Frederick.
All the money.
Well, you think I'm lying? I don't lie about these things. I
will give all the money.
Say that again. You want to make a comic about wrestlers? Is that what I heard?
Yes, black and white comic about wrestlers. I'll write it, you draw it, and probably line the art.
Yeah, I mean, wrestlers are something cool.
Oh,
and read out. You will have to be an advisor on this.
Well, so say, are me and Billy like the consultants?
Yeah, for sure. To get the historic.
Yeah.
No,
it could even maybe.
Oh,
What if it is history? What if we choose one of the most epic times in wrestling history and turn to a comic book?
Oh, so the Attitude Era.
I mean, just one of the biggest events, with one of the craziest shits that just happened and was so miraculous. It's just plastered in wrestling history.
No, you know what you want to make? You want to make a comic about the plane ride from hell.
I don't know. I really want wrestling in it.
No, it's a wrestling story.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Go ahead, share. I suppose.
I don't have time to get into that tonight. What I'm just going to say
he
is,
doesn't have time. He brought it up, but he doesn't have time.
We ain't got time for that.
There was a plane ride. There was a plane ride from hell involving WWE staff. They were like on a world tour, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. And yes, Ric Flair was on that plane. And no, this is not the one that crashed.
So when do you think the next retirement match for Ric Flair was his final match?
Never.
Huh.
Never?
I do not want that man ever to go inside a wrestling ring
But
again.
you know he's going to go inside it again. Like he's gonna be fucking 99 years old and be like, "Oh, you little fuck."
Yeah, Ken Kage's willing to pitch in on that wrestling book.
The money it's building. No, Flair should never, ever, ever do a wrestling match again.
When was his last final match? Was it 2 years ago?
Yes.
Dude,
Oh,
this man. Matter of fact, fuck the Undertaker streak at WrestleMania. They should just have the Ric Flair final match gauntlet, right?
I mean, Terry Funk was pretty bad too, which unfortunately he has passed away. I mean, Terry Funk did a lot for the smaller wrestling companies in the past 30 years, but
They get 3D holograms.
Oh my god,
They get the 3D holograms.
But you want to talk
Ric
about a man who
Flair.
just kept coming out of retirement? Terry Funk did it like every look. The man had gift wrapped it to him, probably what you could dream of for like a retirement match. In 1997, he got to have a whole retirement match with Bret Hart, which is one of the weirdest shows to ever watch. It's not a bad show. It's just so weird, the production team, because it's 1997. So here's Bret Hart, who is the WWE, well then WWF World Champion, on the eve of the Montreal Screwjob, no less. Then you have him facing Terry Funk, who just recently was the ECW World Champion. And all of it is being produced by ECW staff. But you have Bret Hart in the ring. It's so weird. There's all these like WWF talent, because it was many people came together because it was supposed to be Terry Funk's last match. And then he came back like a few months later.
Of course.
And that began his many retirements and returns.
It's like fucking bands that do like their farewell tour and then it does well. So they're like, well, let's do another one.
Well, that's why everybody's right now in wrestling, like just like begging Sting, please do not come back. Well, not come back. You can come back and make appearances, but don't come back and wrestle. You had your perfect send out.
Yeah.
He retired last
Be like, I want
March.
to be a manager, right? Hear me out.
He did that last year with Sting's retirement match.
Did he?
He was in his corner.
Did he get involved in the match?
I think he did. But it's just like, no, Flair. I can just hear Sting just probably going, no, you stay over there. This is my retirement match. You are retired. No, implies that you cannot get physical.
Roman Reigns has his retirement match. Ric Flair just comes out of nowhere. Ric Flair comes out of nowhere and he's already bleeding. Like he hasn't even been punched. He's just bleeding off the start.
What was that match? They were so worried about getting out of hand that they actually hired Chuck Norris to referee it.
What?
Sounds like something from mid 1990s WWE.
Which match? I forgot which match it was. They had fucking Mike Tyson referee.
Oh, that was Austin and Michaels, WrestleMania 14.
Okay, yeah.
That's hilarious. Anyways, I've been coming up with the fictional wrestling match that we're going to totally make one day. Let me know how much. So it's what they call an ABC storyline for you non-writers. It has 3 separate storylines following 3 separate wrestlers, right? And they each have cliche-ish wrestler shit going on, and they all want to win this match. So everything goes psychopath at the end during an elimination match where everybody's supposed to throw each other out. And it doesn't follow script, and these 3 guys end up actually fighting to throw each other out. And then that's going to be your big send-off.
So read out. This is what we'll do, right? Hear me out. Ric Flair has his final match, right? He fucking dies during the match, right? And everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And then, boom! Fucking entrance music pops on, and it's Ric Flair hologram coming out. You know, woo,
all prepared
to finish the match.
I thought actually for a moment it would be good to take a actual event and turn it into a comic book. Then it would be instantly sued and never released.
All right.
So it would be highly in demand on the internet in the piracy.
Right. I'm going to do one more wrestling story. This is my last one, I promise. I am reading this word for word from the Pro Wrestling Wiki, so take it with a pinch of salt. This is the story of the plane ride from hell. On May 5th, 2002, a number of WWE staff flew from Great Britain to the United States following their European tour. On the now infamous flight, there were a number of incidents involving WWE management and wrestlers that are later attributed to heavy drinking on the flight, partially because the flight was delayed for over an hour. Among these incidents include the late Mr. Perfect goading Brock Lesnar into a mid-flight wrestling match. Apparently, they scuffled in the aisle of the plane, and Lesnar was able to take down Mr. Perfect, and Mr. Perfect was unable to get back up. Eventually, multiple staff members had to separate the pair. Those individuals that separated them included David Finlay, Triple H, and Paul Heyman. WWE announced that Mr. Perfect was released from the company shortly thereafter. While there was no heat. Okay, yeah, but that's boring stuff. Okay, next incident. The wrestling was tame compared to some other antics. Goldust allegedly serenaded his ex-wife until being told to stop by WWE Vice President Jim Ross. Yes, Vice President Talent Relations Jim Ross. Goldust was in the doghouse for a long time and was publicly dropped by WWE in 2003. Michael Hayes, who was then a road agent for the company, was involved in a physical altercation with John Bradshaw Layfield after heavily drinking, allegedly punching him. Hayes' actions led to someone, most say it was X-Pac, cutting off his mullet while he was sleeping.
Damn.
The consensus at the time was that Hayes deserved it for his part in starting the incident. Jim Ross.
War the world.
Jim Ross was trying to sell his barbecue.
Sure he was. Jim Ross stated the following about the flight in his opening column on WWE.com. The flight was about 7 hours in length and at times was low lighted by a handful of people who consumed too much alcohol and consequently acted like children whose parents were away and left the liquor cabinet unlocked. The conduct of this inebriated minority was unacceptable and will not be tolerated. Procedures have been put in place to ensure such conduct does not occur in the future. The bottom line is this. Yours truly is the person in charge of the talent's roster, and the buck stops with me. We will do all we humanly can to solve the problem. In the same column, Ross noted that Scott Hall was not involved in the incident. I like how they have to stress Scott Hall was not involved in the incident. Hall soon left WWE as his release was announced several days after the UK tour. So that's according to Pro Wrestling Weekly, the infamous plane ride from hell. There are a zillion documentaries that go in more detail because there are more stories about what happened. And I know there's a story about Ric Flair, and I don't know why it wasn't listed. So, yeah, that can be your late night reading or viewing.
I'll
add that into the
by God, I killed him.
My God, he's killing him.
By the way, am I remembering correctly? Is Scott Hall the guy who was known as Razor Ramon?
Yes. He passed away 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was relatively recently.
It wasn't too long ago when he passed away. Sad day. Is Bret Hart still alive?
So this has become the wrestling edition of Proof of Comics. While this was all occurring, Frederick has been making a lovely illustration, I believe, for Lord Otter's book. Am I not mistaken?
That's right.
Okay.
Wait a minute. This show's called Proof of Comics?
Yes.
Comics? What are comics?
I thought this was just Frederick's
I
show.
can get readouts on any stream. All I have to do is bring up wrestling, and you can just hook, line, and sinker.
Hit it! Go, go, go!
fucking shit.
Oh, there they are. Look at these gorgeous sons of bitches.
That's right. It's that time of the show where we shill our wares, tell people
Read
what
out.
we're working on, and we could start with our new guest, first-time newcomer on the Proof of Comics, Readout Productions.
Well, I'm going to shill my other channel actually tonight. The Fubar Digital Lounge. That's Fubar Digital Lounge.
Just say
This
to the audience. That's fucking rude.
I could say that in while I describe my name. It is great, isn't it? So this is the channel I've been trying for a long time to get going with me and a couple of my friends, where we talk about just random bits of pop culture. We describe our channel as being drunk ambiance. Lot of alcohol and some tobacco is used in the making of our videos. We're actually trying to change up the format where it's not just us sitting down talking. I am going to start doing more reviews over there. I just posted one the other week about the anime called Blue Gender. It's an interesting piece that came out in 1999. It's sci-fi survival horror. I kind of discovered it because I was looking for obscure classic anime. I want that old cell animation style. I want to watch more of that. So I picked up Blue Gender. There's a lot of highs and there's a lot of lows from Blue Gender. So consider checking out my review. You can watch it if you spoilers or no spoilers. I have the benchmark when the spoilers begin. I encourage you to watch all of it though, because I try to be humorous. I try to talk about pop culture. I try to be hip with the kids and not just talking about what Teddy Roosevelt had for dinner or something. Oh, by the way, I run Readout Productions. It's a history channel. We live, explore, and preserve history, one video at a time.
What do you mean hip with the kids? Aren't you a kid?
They may say I'm the one of the youngest in the Iron Age, but when it comes to me and what I research, I don't feel it.
He's also the advisor on our future comic book about wrestling.
Yes, clearly.
Yes, apparently.
Yes.
Lord Otter.
Team.
Do you still find time to write, Lord Otter, when you're not playing Vampire? Do you have time where you're not playing Vampire Survivors?
I know, right? I do have time. I am getting into the final iteration of book 2. I know it's taken so freaking long, but I am getting a lot of the artwork together as we speak. As you can see, a good part of it is being done by Sir Frederick here.
Yes, keyword Frederick is doing it, not you. You are not You're not making that art. You're monitoring him with a stick and poking him, but
yes, I've also got a whip in the other hand, just to make sure he doesn't dally too much. But yeah, so
it's a pleasure, man. It's just I love drawing these beautiful ladies in such interesting scenes.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for book 2. First book is pretty much swords and sorcery with themes of brotherhood, a good deal of magic and weird fiction. This one coming up is going to be a bit more dark fantasy before I go into a brighter tale with the next one up. So expect more cloak and dagger elements, some a bit more of intrigue, and also some kind of like Lovecraftian elements too. Me putting my own twist on it. Yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm also on YouTube. I also stream Red Dead, occasionally Minecraft too. Red Dead 2 has been a lot of fun. It's been kicking my ass, and the glitches are hilarious. So if you want to check that out, I usually stream on Fridays.
Really, there's glitches in Red Dead.
Oh,
yeah, never would have imagined, huh?
All right, James, what are you working on, my friend? Well,
I
you're working on a
like
WrestleMania comic. I think.
Yes. Well, Mania
gathered that.
Wrestling. It doesn't have an official name, but it's we're working on it. We're going to get the
It's a working
Kickstarter
title.
up.
That's right. Yeah.
We're going to get the Kickstarter up sooner or later to pay Frederick. And we're besides that, I just finished a lovely story about a villain in the World Without End universe. I'm finally applying what I call the Billy Bob formula of writing to my World Without End stories, because Billy Bob stories are roughly about 2,000 words, and they get kind of straight to the point, nice and entertaining. I'm going to use this formula in some of my World Without End releases. Besides that, you can actually check out the latest Billy Bob story, which is Billy Bob versus the Town of Skanks, which is released already for free at worldwithoutendlore.substack.com. Go check that out.
Already, I hear Billy saying, "That's right, motherfucker."
Well said, good sir. Wrangler from Frequency Studios.
Yeah, you can find my books on Amazon, Haley Star Bad Kitty and Bad Kitty Haley's World. They're magic-fueled sci-fi adventures. And you can also check out my Substack, Frequency Studios, where you get to see the awesome art that Frederick did.
Thank you.
Of why is it not working?
I'll send you guys the usual payments for all the components.
Well, I was going to show it on screen, but my computer just froze up on me. So,
Right
there.
on time.
Okay, yeah.
Worst timing.
Yep.
I got a
Right on
summary of my
time.
whole day at work.
Yeah, you can check out the short story over on Substack. Takes place 6 months after the second book with these two gentlemen right there.
Yeah, awesome, man. And Billy Bobsack.
I have nothing right now. I'm replaying GTA 4. That's it.
Billy Bob,
is
you
a-
had nothing and you used it well.
That's right.
Billy Bobsack is also a YouTuber. He has a YouTube channel with reviews to comic books such as Rook Exodus. So
They're
check
good
those out.
reviews.
Indeed. Your screen looks like you're glitching out, Lauder. It's like, wow.
No, trust me, that's a feature.
Oh, I know. I've played it enough now to know. I've been able to beat the screen levels now to make it to 30 minutes.
I don't dare try it.
It's
Look
pretty
at
fun.
this.
Yeah, it's true what people say. It really is addictive. Like it's
That's why I don't dare try it.
They're
I don't
not
need
kidding.
to be addicted to another
Dude,
game.
the first day
Lucky
the first day I decided I said I'm gonna open up and see what it's like, see what it plays like, and put it aside. Dude, I played like 7 to 8 hours.
Jesus.
And then the next day, like it was all vampire and surviving. And then after that, I was able to put it like yesterday. I didn't do any gaming, and today I didn't do any gaming, so I got it back under control. But damn, man, it is a serious.
I play a good amount of video games, and it doesn't affect me that much. This game is the exception. It's super addictive.
So what is it about this game? Like you got good music, you got like quick leveling up, you got a smart way of dealing with like the enemies that spawn on the edge of the screen. It works pretty well.
Yeah, it's you can tell the creator worked for a casino there for a bit. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's
put it that
definitely
way.
like if this game had microtransactions, it would be illegal.
You know
Just
what? That's a good argument.
Wait a minute. I just came up with an ingenious idea. What if we replace Frederick in this endeavor for making a wrestling comic book with a manga artist?
A wrestling manga.
Yes, wrestling manga. And then we can put some fake Japanese name on there and nobody would know.
But you'd need to have a real Japanese mangaka, wouldn't you?
No, man. They just have to think it is.
Oh, right. You get a Filipino with a Japanese name.
There you go.
There you go.
Filipinos, much cheaper,
All right.
I think.
And now you know.
And now we know.
And knowing's half the battle.
G.I.
they say.
Joe.
I know, right?
That's it for the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in. If you stayed this all the way to the end of the stream, thanks to my guests for coming on tonight, and Read Out for jumping on the stream for the first time. And that's it for tonight. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bonsoir. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
The sun has gone to bed, and so must I. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Hello, Bitcoiners. Thank you very much. Hello. It's good to be with you. It's good to be with you.